Rebates and 6904 dealer discounts. Rebates may include 500 first responder bonus cash. Must be current member of eligible first responder association. Qualify 5 with this net savings. Temple VIN 553-385. See dealer for details.
KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake.
Yeah, well, no Kyle Draper today. He's having his all-star break vacation. He's either on his way to Mexico or he's there now. So it's me, Whitey, and make sure I get his name right. Everyone calls him Jay, but he has the most wonderful name, Janaik. Is that right?
Close. You're getting closer.
Janaik.
It's Janaik.
Janaik.
Yep, Janaik.
Janaik. Isn't that an incredible name? And how long were you in school and organized sports before you just had to say, never mind, just call me Jay?
I was gonna say the jump. I mean, as soon as I touch school, it's like Mr. Johnson.
Yeah,
man, that's me.
Yeah,
I mean, to this day, I have coaches, friends, can barely pronounce my name.
Well,
I've known for 30 years.
I want to be your friend, but I can't say your name.
Oh,
every time I think I have it.
It doesn't hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
A lot of folks get mad about, who's like this? Qadri Ismail.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I used to work with Qadri, and he's very particular. If you go Quadri or
Ishmael, call me
right.
Ishmael.
It's like, oh my goodness. I've seen him stop interviews.
Really?
Yes.
The guys, aren't there two brothers, Gabajam
Akbar?
Yeah.
Yes. Abijamila or something. Yeah.
I interviewed them once, and the guy's like, look, stop.
KGB?
Let me help you. And he was nice about it. He's like, no. That's not right. And he explained his name. But again,
Abijamila.
Yeah.
Yes. I used to work with Akbar over at, I can't remember, Fox at this time. Yeah. But both of them are good dudes. Akbar for sure is. He's had much success outside of football, hosting different CBS shows, which he still does now.
Well, speaking of football, that's one of the things that sucks about the Super Bowl, even if your team wins, and mad props to the Chiefs and blah, blah, blah. But football's over. So at least if your team wins, football's over, but we have something to celebrate all off season long. And now here we are staring into the emptiness, the cold emptiness of the rest of the winter. And this is the first weekend, Jay, as you know, since I guess July, really, where we haven't had any NFL football. It's kind of lonely. It's kind of sad.
I get it. Football people.
Way, huh?
Yeah, no, because I'm not the type of person. Like, football controls people's lives, because of the fantasy, because of the gambling, the prize picks, all the different things, DraftKings, all these different things that people get into, especially fantasy football. Fantasy football freaks, they kill me, man. Like, I've been in fantasy football leagues, of course. It is what it is. It doesn't control my life. Like, some people, though, that's all they do is eat, breathe, sleep football. And I get it. All respect to you. I love sports, but I also have a lot of other things going on in life. And I hope everybody else does. But I can understand, there is something to where it's like you look forward to doing having and watching football on Sundays.
It's always there for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's like the ex. Okay, I'll go back to her. I go back to him.
Sometimes you might not want to watch, but if I I got a game in the morning, I got a game in the afternoon, I got a game at night, and then I got a game Monday night, I got a game Thursday.
Especially West Coast, right?
Yeah.
The other thing, too, and I know you like college football. I'm a huge college football guy. When Saturday stopped, that's kind of when it's like, okay, football's almost at the end for me.
Right. When the NFL starts playing a couple Saturday
games, yeah.
Yeah.
That's which I love. I love that.
Yeah, that's, it's almost Christmas time. Also, it's almost done. Yeah. And now are you excited at all in any way, shape, or form about, the XFL merging with the USFL? Now we got the UFL, spring football at its finest.
Yeah, if I had a job there, I would be, if I was doing something, within that. But I don't think I probably won't watch one game. Will you? Are you tired? Unless it's background fodder?
If I'm trying to find something to watch and it's on, I'll probably watch not even a series, with 2 plays.
Yeah.
See what happens. It's amazing how long those leagues have lasted and all their different incarnations. I guess somebody realizes there's a market for this and we're going to figure it out. So maybe now with the XFL and the USFL merging, maybe this is the formula. Because there are some places like, I believe St. Louis and Seattle, they actually do pretty well.
Yeah. Well, it's the football phenomenon, Whitey. It's just what I started the whole conversation about is some people just eat, sleep, drink, breathe football. And I respect that. I get it. That's just not my move. I have family, I have a daughter, I have, a beautiful mother, beautiful wife, grandmother. I like other things outside of football. And I understand certain people don't, that again, that's their total life, as if they're coaches. They coach for a team or, they're intertwined in that, and good for you. I just can't see myself, right now sitting down to watch a XFL, USFL game or whatever we're going to call it at this point. And, because I don't want to botch the name and feel good about myself as far as like, oh yeah, this is great football. Like, nah, it's cool. I'll watch it, here and there, but it's nothing that's going to overcome me as comparing it to football.
Now, there was a period where anytime there was a league like one of those, Sacramento was a good bet to get a team.
Yes. Mountain Lions, baby.
Yeah. Sacramento Mountain
Lions. Now, see, I'll go to that because we represent
Sacks. Yeah.
Yes.
We traveled to Omaha, Nebraska to do one of the games. Yeah, we did those games, and they had the Gold Miners.
Yes.
And they had the other the World League of American Football. We had a team in that too. And now we don't get those. I don't know if it's good or bad. We're not considered for those teams anymore.
Because we're big time now. We're looking for the big sports. We're looking for the Oakland A's to come here. We're looking for the Republic to take the next step to be an MLS. We moving on up to the east side. We're doing our thing now. It's no longer are we a secondary tier city. We're looking for bigger and better things. We want associations. We want National Football League type things.
Right.
Yeah,
Sounds to me like you haven't given up on the idea of Major League Baseball coming here at some point. Huh?
Well, I don't know. We can all be a dreamer, right?
Sure.
God, we all have to have goals to the end. I think Sacramento has an opportunity to do something special. I also think there is an opportunity to get on the. We just saw Adam Silver talk about they want to be in Vegas.
Yeah.
And we know pretty much Seattle probably coincides with Vegas, their setup. But I know, and we already have an NBA team, but I say that to the point of Sacramento is also being floated around for different leagues throughout our world and throughout our country to where it's a viable place to maybe put a flag down into the ground for being a second, having a secondary professional sport.
Brodie Brazil is going to join us in the 4:00 hour, and Brodie is from NBC Sports Bay Area, and he's one of the go-to authorities on this whole A's move, what it means for Oakland and for baseball, and of course for Sacramento. So we're looking forward to talking to Brodie. And Jay, I know you and I have talked about this because Jay is I say this a lot, but it's because I mean it, and it's true. He's a real baseball guy. He's played college baseball, big A's fan.
Love him.
Yeah, if a team leaves here, if Oakland's without a team and Sacramento's without a team, we're not both going to get a team. So that's another element of this that makes it tricky. We know what it's like to get our hearts ripped out and someone trying to take our team, which is what's going on in Oakland. So we're trying to support them, but at some point we may actually be competing with them for a team. So there's lots of little intricacies and layers of this whole Sacramento Oakland thing.
It's a great point. I will say this. I think we've seen Oakland, put the city out there as saying is like, look, we want to, unlike what it seemed like with the Raiders and the Warriors was,
they had no shot.
Yeah. They were going back to San Francisco, the original home, so to say, in the Bay Area. I think that the city of Oakland has put themselves out there in the forefront of saying, look, we want a baseball team. And part of, Sacramento's, I guess, problem may be, and we had this situation, and we need to get the mayor on, is Mayor Steinberg, is I think some people still question the fact of does Sacramento want a secondary team? And we knew the MLS is something that was, a glisten in our eye. So we can count that. But as far as any other league, most people would say the NFL wouldn't fit here in Sacramento because we're not big enough. We don't have enough, Fortune 500 companies, those type of things. And when you build a football stadium, you're really looking at 60,000 is kind of like your minimum, anything below 60,000 in a new stadium is just not really going to work. It's not going to be beneficial. So in reality, baseball probably fits best for us.
You might be too young to remember this. I'm not sure. You may be at the, let's see, it would be like the ticket office at Arco 2.
Okay.
When you went in, like to get Will Collar buy tickets,
mm-hmm.
There was that little enclosed area. They had for a long time a model of what the Sacramento football field would look like if the Raiders came here.
Really?
Yeah, it was a very nice. It was large. It looked like a big, really nice electric football setup, but it was just a mock-up. And there are people who back then, before the Raiders, let's see, they went to LA, they came back here. There were people that told me it was close. The
to
Raiders
come in a sack.
And I do not believe it, but there's people that were a lot closer to it to me. They say, oh, it almost happened.
Where though? Where would it be?
Well, they were talking to Mr. Lukenbill, I believe, and there was a talk of, right next to Arco, there was going to be something there. There was going to be a baseball stadium, which they never quite finished.
Yeah,
they did lay in like the foundation for the grandstands. That was actually in there.
Okay.
And then I think that's where the football field would have gone, or, they had different plans for that. I don't know, except that people tell me, oh, yeah, it almost happened.
Really?
Isn't that hard to believe?
Man, it is. It's, could you imagine if Sacramento Raiders?
I can't.
No?
I tried.
Yeah.
I tried and tried. Would have been great. Manny Too Legit says, if MLB had a team here, I'd be watching my first MLB game.
I will. Come to us, Manny. Sacramento community definitely has enough to support a second pro team. I think you would agree with that, right, Whitey?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
All the hotel space and all that is apparently an issue.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I understand. And it's really hotel space. It's really top tier hotels.
That's why we never got an NBA All-Star game, even though we built an arena, which is one of the, one of the
finest
things
in
you're
the
supposed
league
to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think that, and we've heard this, I know you've seen this because why do you do your research? We've even heard, bringing in cruise ships to be floated upon so we could have enough room,
right.
For you got to have enough availability. I think part of it, and I've been to a couple of NBA league meetings throughout my time and, summer league and hear these different things, working for the Clippers at one point in time. It's really Sacramento's lack of top tier hotels. The NBA, when you bring an all-star game, they consider 3.5, 4-star hotel and above to be a top tier. And Sacramento just doesn't house enough of those.
Right.
And so as we see Natomas start to be built up, I live in Natomas now, haven't moved here last year, whatever. And, it's building up around me, especially as you get closer to the airport. I mean, when you pass Del Paso and you get to, start to get past Rio Linda and all that, Elkhorn and all that, like there's so many houses out there now, and I don't know when the last time you've been to Folsom. Like every time I go to Folsom, which is very rare, just so many things brand new. I'm looking around like, man, it feels like a whole new place.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And so I think there's a great opportunity for the Sacramento and surrounding areas to really make a standpoint. And I think a lot of people here in Sacramento are kind of stained by what happened with the MLS and the Republic. And in reality, it was never about the city. It was all about somebody who, for what we know, had big, deep pockets.
Yes.
And it just hit at the wrong time with the pandemic. With that being said, I think Sacramento is a viable market when it comes to, of course, MLS, which we know, but baseball, I really do think is a viable market in Sacramento.
When everything was going down with MLS and they made the announcement and everything, I was on another station in town and I was saying, look, nothing's a done deal yet. And people got so mad at me and they said, you don't know what you're talking about. This is done. And I said, it's the nature of these things.
Yes.
Same thing with, the A's going to Vegas. And here we are. And I think you're right. It was the pandemic and a lot of other factors. As far as the All-Star game coming here goes, I think you're exactly right again. And I know, and people that worked on the video that the Kings sent to the league to try to convince them to have the All-Star game here. And as I was saying, you build a new arena. That's supposed to be one of the criteria. Hey, we built an arena. Do we get an All-Star game? Except here, the plan, it's an ambitious plan, but it's for some of the people like to stay in Napa.
Yeah.
And then like drive into Sacramento or have the cruise ships.
Yeah. Couldn't fit on the water, down the river, they were saying.
Yeah. So it's just not feasible.
Yeah, it's not. And you kind of need, you really need a company or two to really come through here. And I think that was part of Sacramento's pitches was, look, we just need a few more assists.
Yeah.
We need a few more hands on deck to build some of these hotels. What we seen from Sacramento's, constituents was, look, we can house this. And they put out a few more details of, as you said, we can reach the Napa. We'll supply the, which is crazy to me.
Yeah,
we'll supply the transportation.
Yeah.
And, I guess, look, if Domas can do it every day, then they can too, right? If it's good for Domas, it's good for them. But I do think where it lacked, and I always said this, and we can dive into this a little bit more today, Whitey. I don't know if you're in particulars of this, was a lot of pressure was put on the city of Sacramento and not the surrounding cities.
Mm-hmm.
Like Elk Grove is its own city now.
Right.
And they didn't come to the table from what I understood. You didn't see some of these smaller cities that come around, like I believe Rancho Cordova is its own annex. And I believe they have their own mayor, but they don't call themselves a city or what.
Oh, and then you got Carmichael.
Right. The
Oaks
Orangevilles, the Fair Oaks. Like some of these different places are their own city. And they didn't come to the rescue. Like El Dorado Hills didn't come to the rescue of saying, look, we can throw in some money. We can do some things. And I heard from a lot of people that was kind of part of the problem too.
Do you think it's hard for Kings fans, for Sacramento fans, this particular All-Star game being in Indianapolis and having Tyrese Haliburton as the face of this year's All-Star game? Is that kind of hard to swallow, you think?
I'd say no. I'd say no, because Indianapolis has been the location of the NFL Combine for multiple years. I think if there's anything, it's the Tyrese Haliburton situation, especially not having De'Aaron and not having Domas, not having a representative.
Right.
But, sooner or later, and I talked about X, sooner or later, you got to get over it. Like Tyrese, he's not sliding to the G1C no more unless it's in the visitors, locker room. We got to move on. Mm-hmm. And we, like the Pacers aren't doing they're not number one in the East. They're not number two in the East. So it's not like, Tyrese has taken them to the next level of, they're contenders. If anything, most people probably would agree the Kings are better than the Pacers.
I think one thing that could make it hard to move on, and obviously it's up to each of us,
yeah.
But you've got so many idiots who, on social media, not around here, but nationally, and Haliburton has a big game, and the Kings are so stupid. Why do they trade him? It's like, you don't understand what the Kings did pretty well in that trade.
Yes.
And I know we've been over this,
yes.
But that's going to continue. It's just so easy. It's low-hanging fruit. It's lazy to say, Haliburton's great. The Kings are stupid. And it just doesn't apply to this situation.
Yeah, I agree. The other part of it, too, and I know we have to break, is I've been one of the.
We don't have to break.
Well, you're right. We don't have to. I've kind of been one of those guys who have said, and this kind of coincides with everything we've talked about this segment. For me, this is just me, and this isn't a shot at the Sacramento Kings organization.
Sounds like it will be.
Yeah, I truly believe the ball is in their court. They have to do more when it comes to the national syndication of putting out the Sacramento Kings as a top flight organization, as someone to be reckoned with, as look at us, woe is me. Like, however you want to paint the picture, however you want to pick that, put your drawing on the easel and get it done. It has to be done. I truly believe they have put everything they've needed to into the arena. Like the arena's top notch, top flight. Everybody knows it. You talk to analysts. We bring people on this station, and they love the G1C. Like people always mid sentence, man, this is a beautiful place. I've heard it 1,000 times at this point, but the narrative has not been painted by the Sacramento Kings organization to me enough of we are good. And I know it's because the play on the court hasn't always equaled up to what Sacramento, the Kings organization has. Like the entertainment team's always sent to the All-Star game. I believe this is like fifth, sixth, seventh time, right?
Yeah,
they're always sent. Frost and Mo and Moke and all those guys do a great job. If I'm not mistaken, Sacramento was one of the first dance teams to be broken into co-ed. That's something we need to lean on.
Yeah.
The Kings have to do a better job, in my opinion, in letting the other NBA organizations and other NBA cities and national pundits who haven't come here because the team hasn't been good. So, like, one of Draper's things, Whitey, is oh, man, he talked about Mark Stein. Mark Stein came here one time, and that was because of the playoffs. He doesn't come here. Well, he's in New York. And I get that's his job to know what's going on around the league, and that's what Kings fans – the King's Kingdom, the people who scream light the beam, all these people have problems about. But sometimes I feel the fans are screaming more than the organization.
Well, they have to win. There's no substitute for that.
True.
They made strides last year, trying to build on that this year. And bottom of the hour, we'll hear what Monty had to say about that today when he was on with Dave. But there's no substitute for that. And it's not something you can't change those perceptions overnight. There's
Agreed.
Also, it's a fact. It's hard for me to imagine, even if the Kings win, and I know Monty talked about this today. Let's say they win, they establish a tradition, a culture of winning. I still don't think that alone makes, Sacramento a free agent destination. And that's just the reality of being a small market team. But we're not even there yet.
Yeah.
Because they're still trying to build that winning tradition.
True.
This is 2 years. It's rare. You look at the Kings' history. And anybody who remembers the Weber years knows that there was an extended period there where they were good. But this is rare. 2 years in a row, the Kings are competitive. For all the ups and downs this year and all the negatives, this is really rare.
It is.
It's something to be celebrated, and that's what makes this season so exciting. It's because can they do it again? But it's going to take that for some of those perceptions to change. And I think, for some in the country, they may never change, and oh well, that's your problem.
Yeah, I mean, winning cures everything.
Yeah.
I 100% with you on that. I still believe, this isn't 1992 Sacramento either, though. Like we're not 500,000.
Yeah.
We're 2 million, 3 million almost deep. You type like we're almost 2 million when you include everyone around us. The suburbs, so to say, and so yeah. I think the league is still stuck in the fact like, oh, yeah, that's Cowtown, Sacramento. That's Chris Webber didn't want to go through there till he saw the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But
I still think of that every time I land at the airport. I think of him looking out when he was landing and seeing like pastors and crying.
Right, which is the other part.
Every time.
But think about this, though, Whitey. I've been blessed to be in many cities throughout. At last count or whatever, I've been through half the states in our union. There's plenty of airports that are outside the city.
Imagine so.
And
yeah.
you go to Denver, you're like, man, I'm way out. I'm 20, 30 minutes outside the city. Easy.
Yeah.
So I get that. And I understand that's kind of because the Kings haven't been the best on the floor. So you remember some of the things in the heyday and the great times when it was. And that's one of the things that goes to that. But it's different times, man. Like when you slide through Sacramento, it's a little different now.
1985, when the Kings moved here, Greg Lukenbill moved the team here. And of course, he had Joe Benvenuti. There were a lot of other financial backers, some of whom are still involved. And I remember the commissioner. I wasn't here then, but I remember seeing this. Commissioner David Stern, everyone was in tuxedos on opening night in this really tiny arena. And I remember David Stern saying, this can become one of the crown jewel franchises of our league.
Wow.
Do you think they can? Do you think they ever have?
Wow.
Is that still a possibility? Sacramento.
Yeah, I think it's a possibility. I don't think it has. I think we've been close.
Yeah. During I keep saying the Weber era. And by the way, all the best to Scott Pollard undergoing a heart transplant.
Shouts out. Prayers.
Yeah. But that was must-see TV.
Yeah.
It's like Lakers and Kings. And it wasn't Lakers and whoever, all the Kings fight. No, it was Lakers and Kings, and the whole country was watching.
Championship would have changed it.
Yep.
Championship would have changed it. And that's where you said the winning cures everything. But we've had the opportunity to talk to, just about everybody that was a part of that era. And when you talk to them, they all say, man, we were walking Beatles. Like we couldn't, people talk about, the LeBrons and all. I'm like, man, even at that time, late 90s, early 2000s, we had hundreds of people outside our hotels looking to, give us autographs and pictures and everything else from there. So I do believe there has been a path to show that. Of course, I'm with you. Winning cures a lot of it. But I think once you got the Golden One Center, and I continue to look at that, when you got that state-of-the-art situation, and now you're bringing top flight entertainment here to Sacramento, right? And then on top of that, you have pretty much, because I've been at the G1C where other teams' constituents have come to see what's going on in Sacramento, to build. Milwaukee was one of those teams. Detroit was one of those teams. When we'd be down there doing a show and they would be walking around 50 people, I should say, from another NBA team's organization, and they're writing notes. They're taking time. Do you know the Golden One Center was the first, stadium, whatever you want to call it, in the NBA to have 5K? Do you know the Golden One Center was the only team in the whole NBA where NBA 2K from EA Sports had set up cameras to allow people to get motions from NBA games? Like, there's so many different things that I had learned being down there, of watching people and hearing engineers and hearing different people come in. And I just truly believe, as much as, what happens on the court means a lot, you got to scream that to the top of the lungs. And now that you got Light the Beam, come on now, stop it. There's an opportunity to get out there and scream, look at me.
So what do the Kings do to keep lighting that beam? Monty McNair was on the station today, talked about that, and we'll talk about what he had to say, which you will hear next year with the Drive Guys, Jay and Whitey today, Sactown Sports.
Keep it here to Sactown Sports for the Sacramento Kings push toward the postseason.
Get analysis from our local shows, breakdowns from our Kings insiders, and all the thrilling moments from the G-Man.
Keegan Murray scrambles to save it. He gives it now to Barnes. 1 on the clock. Desperate 3 on the way. He scores the triple. Game tied at 121 apiece. 17 for Barnes.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Toyota's President's Day sales event ends Monday. Now is your chance to save big with President's Day deals on legendary Toyota trucks. Don't miss out. Right now, get $750 cash back on the powerful 2024 Tundra, or see your dealer for details on the all-new redesigned 2024 Tacoma. Hurry in. Toyota's President's Day sales event ends Monday. Toyota. Let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium-ready credit. Excludes TRD Pro and 3424.
It's Carmichael Day with a Fire Wings announcement. The Floor and Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wings Day Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from, and the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you, order online, and earn rewards. Fire Wings. Just wing it.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and all NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox. The breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. We've made it to Friday and heading into a holiday weekend for some of you. Expect cloudy skies today and limited sunshine. Temps will peak in the lower 60s. Next chance of rain arriving during the day Saturday. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Doug Christie here. It's Folsom Lake Kia's President's Day sales event. Save on new 2024 Kias with low payments, low finance rates, and zero down deals on approval of credit. Shop Folsom Lake Kia in the Folsom Auto Mall.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury, For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Sky's the limit at Sky River Casino in Elk Grove. Enjoy over 80 table games, the hottest slot machines, and our thrilling high limit room. Plus, with Sky River rewards that add up and 17 bars and restaurants to experience. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sell-a-thon, get 0 down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at folsomlakeford.com.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Got a drain that's clogged up? Or maybe a toilet? Or a faucet that just won't quit leaking? Kenny and Jerry are here from Bell Brothers, and we want you to know that it does make a difference which plumber you call.
At Bell Brothers, we respect your time by showing up when we say we'll be there. Our technicians are all background checked and drug tested, and will greet you with a smile.
They're trained to do the job right the first time, and they carry over 1,000 parts on their trucks, so they won't have to order something and then come back later.
They leave the work area cleaner than they found it, and your final bill will be the same as they quoted. That's why they call us the No Surprise Guys.
So if you need a plumber, it does make a difference who you call. Call Bell Brothers. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
You know that old joke about an NBA team when they know that they're going to lose and be eliminated, they get they huddle up, put their hands in and say, 1, 2, 3, Cancun. I believe that's literally where Kyle Draper is going, right? Isn't he going to Cancun?
Cabo, right?
It's
Cabo. It's Cabo.
Okay. Cabo, yeah. A lot of people wondering.
We should call him.
Yeah, we should. We should give out all his, his room number and everything to everybody on the air, so that anybody missing Drapes can check in. I'm sure he'd appreciate that. So anyway, that's where Drapes is today. His all-star vacation. A lot of people wondering about that on the chat. Also on the chat, there's a lot of people remembering the surge and the gold miners and how much fun that was. And yeah, that was, long story short, for those who don't know anything about that, the Canadian Football League in the early 90s, they expanded into the United States. Baltimore had a team, I think Las Vegas, and then we had a team, and there might have been one other one. But the gold miners were really a very good team, and they were competitive, but late in the year, they lost some crucial games, and they feel that the officials jobbed them because they were American and not Canadian, and it was pretty ugly.
Well, look, you can, when you take the loss, just go straight to the refs, man.
yeah, but some were like, wow.
Right.
Some of the people in the CFL didn't like the idea of those Americans in there, eh?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it was fun, and I know the general manager of that team told me, he said after it was decided that they were going to pull the plug, if I remember this correctly, he was saying we had some good walk-ups. We were doing well.
Wow.
We could have stayed there a while.
Who was the GM of that team? You remember?
His name was Tom Huskins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't
wonderful
ring a
guy.
bell. Gotcha.
Wonderful guy. And they did a really good job, and it was a lot of fun out there. The CFL, a little nutty, with the 3 downs and the rouge and everything.
Yes.
But it was fun. They had the first game the gold miners played. Doug Flutie and the Calgary Stampeders came out, and they had a huge crowd. Place was going nuts.
See,
the first.
Did it play at City or State?
It played at State, I think,
State,
as I remember.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I can't keep up with them because the Mountain Lions played at State.
Then they redid everything
right
out there. Yeah.
We had the young ladies, the Sirens.
Oh yeah,
Sacramento Sirens. I don't remember where they played at.
Yeah, they were good, weren't they?
They were. I
really
believe they were. We put product on the field. Like we have opportunity, brother. That's why we need another squad to come through the city.
Yes, and that's why we need the Kings to continue with their success. Monty McNair was on today, the Jason Ross with Dave Wegland show. Is that what it is now? Anyway, Monty had some interesting comments on a lot of things. I will say this, Jay, I don't know how much of it you heard. What I didn't want to hear from Monty today was what we heard from him at that press conference. And I understand why he says this, and part of it is his job, and I get that. But basically at the press conference after the deadline, he said, if we're up and down, that means some of that is up. And that's good. So that means we're doing well, and we'll focus on doing well. And as far as the roster, we're always going to be aggressive about adding someone who's going to help us. It's like, well, even though they haven't, it's like, okay, I get that. I understand that. But that's kind of the company line right now, positivity, and there are a lot of things to be positive about. So let's see what Monty had to say today. First of all, he talked about how, last year the Kings were a 3 seed. He said 48 wins this year. Probably not going to get you a 3 seed.
48 wins is not going to get the 3 seed this year. And so we know that. We're gonna have to play these last 30 games and get ourselves into a seeding position. Top 6 is a goal for sure. Avoid the play-in. If we have to go the play-in route, we will. I think if we can get a game in Golden One Center, that's a huge advantage to us. We don't want to go that route, but we'll get in any way we can, and then I think we can make some noise. That said, if we don't, we're unable to get to where we want. This summer and going forward, we're going to have to look and potentially use some of that flexibility, some of those assets to look for upgrades. So we're always looking at both, but I do think credit to our group that we're in a position where keeping this group together is an option, and some teams don't have that option and kind of have to figure something else out. And it's nice to be there. At the same time, we know where we got to go, and if we're not getting there, we're going to have to do something.
Do you think, Jay, dear listener, could Sacramento stand a play-in situation? That would be crazy. And I'm not saying, it's terrible if you're in the play. No, I'm with Monty. If you're in that, you get out of that, that's great. But it would be very stressful for fans here. It would be rough.
I think we can, and it's based on, everyone who's listening right now wasn't listening yesterday, but I thought you and Drapes had a good point and a good discussion on, Drapes is kind of like, how are we Sacramento Kings fans? Why do we want so much so fast, so quick? Where you were like, last year kind of it came out of nowhere, and you're always looking to build up, not be equal. And so I think you're gonna have a bucket of each. I think you're gonna have some people's like, look, I'm just happy to get to the postseason. I'm not worried about the draft upcoming, this upcoming year. That's not the highlight of my year. And then I think you're gonna have some people like, man, we didn't build on what we did last year, and I think you're gonna have some people who's a little upset. I think we can handle it, because I think once we cross that bridge, you go. I was going to say, you took the words out of my mouth.
Tongue in cheek when I asked that, but I know it would be very, very stressful. These one and done, or if you're one of the top 2, you get 2 shots at it. I want to back up to what we've been talking about. Thank you to Chris Watkins, just sent me a text here. This is from this half hour in The Athletic. All right. This is from Evan Drelich in The Athletic. Quote, Sacramento emerging as front runner to host Oakland A's from 2025 to 2027. That's this hour in The Athletic.
Yeah.
The A's, Sacramento front runner to host the A's. A person briefed on the team search process told The Athletic today Salt Lake City and a return to the Coliseum are the other 2 possibilities. A decision is expected in weeks rather than months. The A's and the city of Oakland met on Thursday to discuss the possibility of the A's staying in town. An A's spokesperson said, we had a constructive and positive meeting with the city of Oakland and Alameda County and are focused on continuing conversations. However, a return to the Coliseum remains a tough road, the person briefed on the search process said, considering how messy the team's planned exit from Oakland has already been. So,
it's funny you say that because I just literally got a text from Seth Everett, who's been, a baseball guy for many moons I used to work with. And he texts me the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, relocating to Sacramento could allow the A's to keep a considerable portion of the money they are owed. Exactly how much that might be a matter of negotiation. That is, it has to do with the TV money that's already contractually owed by NBC Sports California. So details are a little vague, but we know, and we'll talk to Brodie Brazil about this. We know that the A's have been talking yesterday, perhaps today, to the Oakland Coliseum, to the city and the county. And it's being reported by The Athletic that right now Sacramento is emerging as the front runner to end up with the A's as a temporary home.
Boy,
I'm stunned.
I know, man.
I don't want to like it, but I get a little giddy about it.
It makes you a little excited, right?
It does.
It's tough because, and I've been battling my fandom with the Oakland A's over the last couple of years. White man, it's been crucial. It's been crucial, and I'm no stranger from saying I don't like the ownership group, but it's hard to pull yourself away from something you've rooted since 5 years old, man. Since I can remember loving baseball, my very first T-ball team at 5 years old at Lemon Hill Little League, which is defunct right now. That was on MLK in South Sacramento. I was an Oakland A, and I remember getting that jersey and walking home with my mother. We didn't even drive home because I lived over in that area behind Rainbow Park, and literally walking home and having that jersey on after practice, after tryouts, like, man, and it just grew. It's grown from there to that point where it's tough because I don't want to like the team because of the state it's in.
Have I ever told you my Oakland A's moment?
No, please do.
May I?
Yeah,
okay.
Please.
My father's uncle was named Bill Posadel. He pitched in the majors, and he was the pitching coach for the A's when they moved to the Oakland in 1968. So we used to go. We got a lot of tickets. So one time it was, my dad was working, I guess, but it was Uncle Bill was his uncle, but it was me and my brothers and my mama. We went to a doubleheader. It was the A's and the Orioles when the Orioles were a great team, and the A's were starting to become pretty good, but they weren't very good yet. And the Orioles were like world champions or American League champions. And so late in the second game, A's win the first game. They're going to win the second game. It's a ninth inning, and we're sitting there getting ready for the game end, like, oh, this is great. And Uncle Bill, we're sitting near the bullpen. Uncle Bill said, hey, he had the white hat, which the coaches used to have.
Yes.
Hey, come here. So I go on down. Yeah. You having a good time? Yeah. And he's looking around because he's working. He's watching what's going on. And it's like 2 outs. There's a fly ball to left field. And he hands me 2 baseballs out of his, the satin, like the starter jacket.
Yes.
And he goes, here you go. So he gives me the balls. I take them in my hand. And then the left fielder makes a catch, and the stadium erupts because the A's have swept the Orioles. And it was like one of the most incredible moments of my life.
See?
It was amazing.
Like, man,
I was like,
yes.
The guy hands me these 2 baseballs. Like, this is awesome. That was the Oakland A's.
And it sucked you in.
Yeah.
It suckered you in. Like, you can't go back now.
I know.
I mean, I think I've heard you talk about it a few times, but would you attend a game
here?
Yes.
We'll talk about the ramifications.
Okay.
Of that
all right.
And all that's involved in that when we come right back. But yes, this hour, The Athletic is reporting that Sacramento is emerging as the front runner to land the Oakland A's on a temporary basis, 25, 26, 27. More on that when we return. It's the Drive Guys, Sactown Sports. Wow.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sactown Sports.
Spins away from the defender, in the paint, soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento, it's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hey, California. Sellathon means big savings. Sellathon means great selection. Sellathon means 5 days to save. So visit your California Ford dealer now through President's Day and get great offers on the most popular Ford trucks and SUVs. Like the built Ford Tough F-150, part of Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 47 years and counting. or the adventure-ready Ford Bronco Sport with GOAT modes to help you conquer the great outdoors. And the always electrifying Ford Mustang Mach-E with 0 to 60 thrills and 0 emissions. It's the Ford President's Day Sell-a-thon. And that means now is the best time to get behind the wheel of your brand new Ford truck or SUV and drive it home today. But hurry, these offers absolutely end February 19th. So go to your California Ford dealer today. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% when you buy 68 or more select OSB sheathing. Plus, save 10% on bulk purchases of Hillman galvanized fasteners. Visit us in-store or online for the materials you need. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
The History of Curb Your Enthusiasm with Susie Essman and Jeff Garland is a recap podcast on every episode of Curb ever, with exclusive behind-the-scenes tidbits from the beloved TV show, featuring guests like Richard Lewis, Bob Odenkirk, and Larry David himself.
The joy of doing the show for me is to be able to say things to people that I can't say in my life. And one of them is, do you want to go to dinner tomorrow night? No, I don't.
Listen to The History of Curb Your Enthusiasm wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you ready for the deal of a lifetime? This week only during the President's Week sale, get ready to rev up your savings at Elk Grove Kia and elkgrovekia.com. The doors swing wide open every day at 9 a.m., and we're unleashing the biggest selection of pre-owned and brand new vehicles you've ever seen. With so many options to choose from, you're sure to find the car of your dreams. But hold on to your seats, because here's the best part. Our prices are slashed to the bone, and they're so incredible that we can't broadcast them. You have to come down and see for yourself. Don't wait. This is a 1-week only event. And to make it even better, you can drive away with your dream car right on the spot. No waiting, no hassle. Just instant delivery right on site. Remember, the President's Week sale happens this week only at Elk Grove Kia and elkgrovekia.com. Doors open at 9 a.m. sharp. Elk Grove Kia, where the biggest savings and the hottest wheels await during the President's Week sale, only at
Elk Grove Kia.
37,000, 25, 1. These are the 3 numbers to remember to get the visibility and control you need to make the right business decisions instantly. 37,000. That's the number of businesses which have upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, streamlining accounting, financial management, inventory, HR, and more. 25. NetSuite turns 25 this year. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less, close their books in days, not weeks, and drive down expenses. 1. Because your business is one of a kind, so you get a customized solution for all of your KPIs in one efficient system with one source of truth. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need to grow, all in one place. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist, designed to give you consistently excellent performance absolutely free at netsuite.com/company. That's netsuite.com/company to get your own KPI checklist. netsuite.com/company.
Meda Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2020 Ford half-ton Silverado in stock. 2.9 for 72 plus great Meda Chevy savings on new Silverado. Online at MedaChevy.com. Together, let's try.
When accidents turn life upside down, AutoAccident.com is in your corner. Compassionate advice, loyal support, and the courage to fight for you. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Have you heard the news this afternoon? The Athletic, this hour, reporting that Sacramento is emerging as the front runner to host the A's on a temporary basis between their Oakland period and their move to Las Vegas. Whitey Gleason, Jay Johnson with you today. Kyle Draper is on All-Star break. One thing, Jay, as I look at this, Sacramento in the past, we were talking about Al Davis, and he talked about Sacramento as a potential relocation slot. A lot of people thought Al was using Sacramento. I don't know whether he was or he wasn't. It wouldn't have been a surprise. I want to make sure we mention the possibility that we're not sure who the source is. Perhaps the A's, they're negotiating with Oakland. Perhaps they want it leaked that, Sacramento's emerging as a front runner. I mean, we could be, I know that we're talking about a baseball team, but maybe the city of Sacramento is becoming a political football here and a negotiating ploy. Maybe they want Oakland to know, we like Sacramento. I hope not. I hope this is legit. Although you asked the question before we went to break, would I go to games? How would I feel about games?
Yes.
It's really difficult morally when you have so many A's fans. I used to work on the A's flagship in the Bay Area. They have great fans, and a lot of those fans are saying, please, Sacramento, you fans, don't get behind us. You know what it's like when someone wants to take your team. Please support us.
Oof.
On the other hand, Aaron Judge is coming
I hear you.
to Sutter Health Park. So what do you do? It's a tough one.
It is. And that's why I said I've battled my fandom, because now it's like, listen, I've had the opportunity to live in Texas and Los Angeles and other places, and I've never been able to go in my own city where I live and go watch the A's at home. Even here, I got to still travel to the town. I still got to go to Oakland.
Yes.
And so to be right down the street. Literally. Yes. I mean, I could get from my house to Health Heart Park or whatever we call it. And now I don't even know the name of it right now, because I'm trying to formulate that in my mind to the stadium. Not even 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Whitey, I know. It's
Yeah.
tough, man. But as you said, I don't want to support the nonsense that's going on from ownership and with the league, and the fact that he's still trying to, that means he is taking the A's away from Oakland, which, I was perfectly fine going to Oakland to watch my team.
Do you think, let's say it happens. Let's say the A's are here 25, 26, 27. Are they the Oakland A's of Sacramento? Do we need them to be called the Sacramento A's for that period? Do we care? Are they the Las Vegas A's just playing in Sacramento? Does that matter to you? What do we need as Sacramento fans? What would we need in that regard? Would we need them to be called the Sacramento A's?
I would say no. I would,
because they're never really going to be
here. Yeah. I don't think you could call them the Oakland A's anymore as well, though. And the other part of that too is would it be a turn? Like, this is now opening up different doors, because it would be a turnoff if we were calling them the Las Vegas A's, and they were playing in Sacramento.
We're supporting that.
Yeah. So, man, I'm just torn, man. I'm torn in many different ways.
Las Vegas A's of Sacramento.
I'm good. That's like the Los Angeles Angels of Orange County.
I know.
Yeah, I'm good, man.
I know.
I'm good.
Yeah. They were almost at one time the Oakland Athletics of Fremont. That was actually in play for a while.
Yes.
Here's why Sacramento is emerging as a favorite. I'm going to read some of this from the Athletic because I don't want to goof it up. From a club standpoint, staying in Oakland has one big benefit. It would allow the A's to keep the TV money that they already have coming from NBC Sports California, which we just talked about.
Yeah.
Relocating here, however, if they come to Sacramento, that could also allow the A's to keep a considerable portion of the money they are owed, according to this source. Exactly how much might be a matter of negotiation. See, the contract says if the A's are in the Bay Area, then they get this much money. And Sacramento's not the Bay Area, but still it's like,
$64 million, I believe.
We'll give you some kind of discount here. So that apparently is one of the advantages if they stay in Sacramento. Moving to Salt Lake City could leave the A's starting from scratch when it comes to TV revenue. And it's Sutter Health Park, by the way. Sutter Health Park. Yeah. Can seat more than 14,000 fans, which if you follow the A's, you know that's more than they typically need on any given night. Although you're going to pack the house for weekends against the bigger teams in the league, special events nights, things like that. So it's very exciting news today. It's very confusing news. And I don't know about you, but I am a little confused about what is the right way to go. We talked about this weeks ago, Jay, when we first found out. Remember that the A's were coming here to tour the facility. It's like, I know it's great on the one hand, but on the other hand, I don't know what to do.
Right. And even you reading that from the Athletic, where they're talking about they're doing this because money. They're doing this to keep the, to keep the television rights on point. They're doing this for the league revenue sharing.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing all of this for the wrong reasons.
Yes.
And here we are supporting, maybe pondering going to watch this team. And it's all for the wrong reasons because we support the A's, the brand, the shield.
Yeah. We should be supporting fellow fans.
Truth.
Yeah. Ryan Williams Art in the chat says, how about the Pacific time zone athletics?
It might work. Yeah, it might work.
Think of worse things. Well, that was Manfred. Was it this week or last week? Where are they going to play? So they're going to play somewhere in the West. He actually said that. So the West A's, I don't know. There's something about this that doesn't sit well with me. I'm wondering if we're getting played.
Well, we are. And you're pulling on the strings of Sacramento wanting to showcase, like, there's a threefold thing, right? Because there's 3 stories to 3 points to every story. But the twofolds automatically are you're pulling on local Oakland A's fans who are still in Northern California, who just like us, who from Sacramento have traveled to Oakland and watch all these games. Now it's vice versa. You can come to Sacramento and do the thing. And now it's like, okay, well, we still have our team, even though we know now down the road what's going to happen. Like, this team is definitely going to Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
The other part of that is the city has to be thinking, and I'm pretty sure Vivek and other different ownership groups who are tied to this city are probably looking at this like, you know what? This is an opportunity to show we can house another professional sports organization. And so then the third part of that is just a sheer fact of John Fisher's doing this for money. And fans, we're doing this for love. And it's the old argument. It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's really tough, Whitey.
Well, to that point, we know that, the powers that be here, Vivek, big money people in town, the mayor, they weren't just minding their own business like, what's it? Oh, the A's are coming? Oh, that's great. And I'm not criticizing them, but to your point, they've been working on this and trying to get the A's. Hey, you know what? If you need a place, I believe the mayor even spoke about that on the Jason Ross show with Dave Weglin in the spring.
Yeah.
So Sacramento has been working hard on getting it to this point. Man,
it's tough, brother. It is tough.
Yeah.
It is. I don't want to, and I haven't supported John Fisher and his nonsense in the last couple of years, not going to A's games. And it's been difficult because I want to support the squad. I want to support the shield. I want to support the brand. I got my A's hat on now.
Yeah.
It's even taken me a while to do that. Like, even come back around to putting on A's gear and jerseys and coats and starters and satin green joints and all of that type of stuff. But at the same time, I know what it means when I put it on. I know that a person can question my authenticity of the fact of, like, are you supporting John Fisher? And it brings a conversation out.
Mm-hmm. So if they've been talking to Oakland, which was a surprise, then how did we go from they just met with Oakland to now it's like, oh, Sacramento's a front runner? Tell you where things might have unraveled there when we come right back. Brodie Brazil's going to join us today. He was already going to join us to talk about this situation. We got to talk about Jimmy G today. More from Monty on where the Kings go. It's suddenly a busy and eventful Friday with the Drive Guys. Thanks for being with us on Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-5795. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sell-a-thon, get 0 down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at folsomlakeford.com.
Are you ready for the deal of a lifetime? This week only during the President's Week sale, get ready to rev up your savings at Elk Grove Kia and elkgrovekia.com. The doors swing wide open every day at 9 a.m., and we're unleashing the biggest selection of pre-owned and brand new vehicles you've ever seen. With so many options to choose from, you're sure to find the car of your dreams. But hold on to your seats, because here's the best part. Our prices are slashed to the bone, and they're so incredible that we can't broadcast them. You have to come down and see for yourself. Don't wait. This is a 1-week-only event. And to make it even better, you can drive away with your dream car right on the spot. No waiting, no hassle. Just instant delivery right on site. Remember, the President's Week sale happens this week only at Elk Grove Kia and elkgrovekia.com. Doors open at 9 a.m. sharp. Elk Grove Kia, where the biggest savings and the hottest wheels await during the President's Week sale, only at
Elk Grove Kia.
It was 1879 when the first President's Day was established, and it's been a holiday ever since. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. I'm guessing when the Keys family opened the first Naturewood Home Furnishing store in 1948, a President's Day sale was not top of the mind. But the family probably celebrated the holiday with a picnic and a big slice of cherry pie. The store name Naturewood was selected to reflect the quality of the wood furniture for sale. And that focus on quality continues today with brands like Flex Steel, Trailway, Stickley, Fusion Designs, Stanton, and many, many more. The Naturewood Home Furnishings President's Day sale is the perfect time for you to find the right accent piece for your living room, a new bed for your bedroom, or to completely refurnish your entire home. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's President's Day sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper here from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. You know, I'm loving my new EQS SUV. It's the most amazing car I've ever had. In fact, when I'm on the road with the Kings, I can't wait to come back just to hop in that EQS SUV. It's lovely. Now, if you've been on the fence about purchasing your first fully electric vehicle, I'll just say this. Schedule a test drive and see for yourself what makes these vehicles so incredible. Right now, Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is offering up to $10,000 in incentives on new 2023 and 2024 Mercedes-Benz electric vehicles. You'll also receive a wall box home charger and 2 years of prepaid vehicle maintenance if you purchase or lease any Mercedes-Benz electric model. So head on over to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, just 30 minutes from Sacramento, right off I-5, online at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
This is Green Day, right? We could have a lot of Green Days in Sacramento based on today's news, this hour's news, that Sacramento is emerging as a front runner to land the A's as a temporary team, 25 through 27. That's in The Athletic today. Kevin Gleason, Jay Johnson, with Kyle Draper enjoying his vacation. It's really tricky. So we'll look in just a moment here at why it appears Sacramento is the front runner right now. And we'll also look at things like this on the text line, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140 from the 209. Please, Sacramento, don't hurt the A's leverage here. This city knows how much this hurts. Don't help Fisher. He doesn't care about you.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I know. I mean, that's the type of thing. What do you say to that? It's like, I hear you, brother.
But the problem with that legend is this. It says don't hurt the A's leverage, meaning I'm thinking he's saying don't hurt Oakland's leverage,
Maybe,
probably.
Yeah.
Because the A's is John Fisher. Yeah, I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to help. I don't want to. I hear me. I've said it 100 times. I want to support the Oakland A's and not the ownership group.
Mm-hmm.
I do not want to.
Here's where I think this could be going. This is an A's spokesperson, to The Athletic. Quote, we had a constructive and positive meeting with the city of Oakland and Alameda County and are focused on continuing conversations around a lease extension at the Coliseum. Okay, because they met yesterday. All right, that sounds like, all right, things are progressing. But this source here, speaking to The Athletic, says a return to the Coliseum remains as a, quote, tough road, end quote, considering how messy the team's planned exit from Oakland has already been. So that could suggest that there's already been a lot of animosity. Like, yeah, they're talking, but Oakland may be sitting there going, why should we help you? Oakland may be saying, and who could blame them? All right, if we help you, it's going to cost you a lot. It's going to cost you a lot of money. You're also going to have to give us some kind of concessions. We're going to need the brand. We're going to need baseball to agree to leave that brand Oakland A's in Oakland. Something like that.
Please.
Those may be, and I wouldn't blame Oakland. I hope those are the types of things they're demanding.
Yep.
They may even be going, hey, if we're going to do this, we're going to need a promise that we're going to get an expansion team.
Yeah.
Now, if that's the case, then you could see how the A's
good move.
Yes. But you could see how the A's would go, we're not doing that. And baseball would say, no, we're not doing any of that.
Yeah, it's almost a game of chicken. And I understand the city of Oakland. You know,
I do too.
Mayor Tao, she's been since she's come in office, she's been very steadfast of like, we're not bending to the demands of what the Oakland A's organization want. And I get it. You know, we're not bending to what John Fisher and Dave Cavill have tried to bring to us. We're not doing that.
Yeah, there's the moral issue and there's just the political issue.
Yep.
She can't be seen as somebody who's like, oh, okay, yes, whatever you need now. You know, she can't be seen as weak on this.
True, very true. It's a great point. I think and that's the tough part of the situation is, let me ask you this, Whitey. Excuse me, legend. Let me ask you this. If it was, let's say that the city of Oakland and the A's did come into fruition of being able to say, okay, look, we're going to play another 3 years here, even knowing that the goal is still going to be Las Vegas, and we're just biding time. We're waiting on the stadium to be built. Does it change? Does it change how we should be a fan of the A's? Does it change if I should still go watch a game? Because up to this point, the last 2 years, knowing I'm supporting the A's ownership, I have not went to see a game in Oakland. I have not went to see the A's at all. But okay, they come back to, let's say they agree to come back to Oakland. But Vegas is being built. So we know they're still leaving rather.
Yeah.
I'm still in the same boat,
I
right?
know it's tricky because I know what you're saying. I went to an A's game last year and, you know, I didn't know what was going to happen. I was like, we got to go to a game. Who knows what's going to happen? Now they're going to be here at least in Oakland, at least one more year. I would go and I would feel like, hey, I'm actually supporting the history. I'm getting in touch with my memories of how great this was. And yet, if they move to Sacramento and I go, part of me is going to feel like, you know, you're kind of betraying all of that. I know that may be silly, but that's how I would feel because I would feel like I was helping the A's with the whole process. I'd feel like I was supporting the process of moving to Vegas.
Yeah. It's tough, man. And that's kind of how I felt. I had tickets on 2 occasions last year to go to the A's, and one was on Father's Day. One of them was September 15th. I believe they were playing the Padres because I'm very interested.
I think I went to that game.
Yeah, see, and I was like, I just couldn't bring myself to go, man. I just couldn't.
What day was? Do you remember what day that was?
I want to say the 15th was a Saturday.
Okay, yeah, that's my daughter took me to that game for my birthday.
There you go. Yeah. See, but I do know that series that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday was the Padres, and Whitey, I just couldn't pull myself to get up and go, man. But I felt the same way you felt. Is I need to see one more before it's all said and done, and then opposite, I'm on the other side of the fence. I'm fighting my emotions and fighting, supporting the group, the ownership. And so it's almost, I'm hoping the Vegas thing falls through, and amongst these 3 years, wherever the A's play, the timing or something happens to where it look like they're looking for somewhere else to go now. And I can, as a city, understand where Sacramento, again, they're putting their foot forward. They would love to do, house the A's to show that we can do it. And as you said, maybe be next in line for an expansion team. But I think the city of Oakland would be probably right in that same running. For sure.
That's the other. Yeah, looking down the road, like, wow, Sacramento and Oakland at odds for a team. On the text line here, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. The A's are calling Oakland's bluff from the 916.
I agree.
Yeah. Someone else suggests that, and I wish you'd put your name on it so I could give you credit. When Seattle was potentially getting the Kings, I didn't blame the Seattle fan base for wanting a team. Go Sac A's for potential MLB expansion franchise.
Right, which is and that's part of it.
Get that?
Yeah, because we're taking what's, we have an opportunity to show and prove we can do something. And I would love that, because now I'm fighting the fact of, like, this is my hometown. This is my city. This is where I'm, I want to see another team come through here. So, yeah, let's go support it, because if we didn't, Whitey, then it wouldn't show these other leagues that, Sacramento can bring out 30,000. It's not going to be 30,000, but it wouldn't show that, we can support a team 162 times a game, even 81 on the road and 81 here, and exhibition games and, other things that go on in preseason games. And we're not going to get up when the Texas Rangers, who just won a championship, come here. Like, we want to show Sacramento can do this. So it's kind of like, I'm torn.
I know. Fisher trying to stay in Oakland is about TV money. Fans be damned. Let Fisher lose it. Well, and then the other thing is, what are we going to do? It's going to happen one way or the other, right? I mean, we can get behind it or not. I don't think fans are going to be behind it here, right? And the city,
I think so.
Yeah.
Because
I'm sorry. I'm rationalizing. That's what I did
see
there.
it on you.
I apologize. It doesn't matter what we do; they're going to come. So
you're trying to make it okay in some form.
That wasn't right.
But you know what though?
Back.
But it just shows the conundrum that. First of all, A's fans are in. Then you have the Sacramentans, who are going to try to support the team, and then you just have, and this. You and Drapes have talked about this. And this is why the Kings do so well sometimes. And it's not a jab at them. It's the only show in town.
Yeah.
And so when it's a Friday night and you have even though a lot of people would say it's not affordable, but if you blessed to afford it, it's like, okay, I could grab 3 or 4 tickets and take the family out, and it's a good outing. It's family friendly. It's exciting. You get to see some top flight entertainment. Who knows who they're playing? Like, there's a reason for it. And guess what? Baseball's even less, and the Oakland A's don't have no push to try to charge anyone $100 for a third base side ticket. It's going to be less. And it's going to be easy to go on a Friday and a Saturday midday.
What do the River Cats do, by the way?
Oh, they're stuck, man.
What are they going to do?
They're stuck because now they're getting ready to get kicked out of their own clubhouse. And, some of the schedules are made, but there's also going to be a time where the A's are probably going to get the better slots for days and times and stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah.
River Cats, man, they in trouble.
All right. Well, it's looking more likely than ever that Sacramento's going to get a Major League Baseball team, at least short term. More on that coming up. And we'll also take a look at former 49er Jimmy Garoppolo in the news for all the wrong reasons today as we roll on. Drive, guys. Hope you're having a great Friday. Thanks for being with us. Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
RC Willey has everything for your home, including furniture, mattresses, appliances, electronics, and flooring. With our vast selection, it's easy to find items that fit your style and your budget. We also offer a variety of finance options, including 0 down and 0 interest for 18 months. Whether you're looking to establish new credit or ready to make your space more cozy, we can help. With our flexible finance options, you can easily update your home one piece or one room at a time. Plus, we have a low price guarantee. Let us help you make your home your way at RC Willey.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This.
Through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Well, perhaps today will be remembered as the day when we found out that Sacramento probably going to get a Major League Baseball team. It's so strange to say that. Again, just to summarize for those perhaps just joining us, the athletic reporting that that the A's and Oakland County City, they met yesterday. They've been talking about an extension, and then the Athletic says, according to a source, Sacramento is the front runner, which could be significant, could be meaningless. Maybe we're being used as leverage. Then there's this. Emil just walked in, and I think he's going to come back in a little bit here to talk about the 49ers. But I told him, hey, big news. And he said, is it really? And I said, what do you mean? I said, you mean because it's the A's? And he said, yeah. I mean, I know baseball's not that popular, Jay, but I would think the A's coming here for a few years. To me, that's big news. Maybe I'm old-fashioned.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just saying baseball coming to Sacramento is huge. And I was just sitting here listening to you, and I'm thinking, man, if you would have told me that 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 15 years ago, that would have been huge. And here we are, battling and arguing and trying to come to some type of solution of why this would be something great. If you would have told me that the A's had any opportunity any time prior to 2 years ago in my life that they could be in Sacramento, I would be, come on, this is great.
Yeah.
But here we are trying to talk ourselves into why it's a good thing. Mm-hmm. Could you have ever imagined that?
No. On the chat, Ward says, can we change their colors, though? Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting point. I don't think we could because, they're not going to want to change their colors and then change them again when they go to Vegas. I don't think. Ryan Williams Art. How about this, Jay? I get the support for the team, but not the ownership. But if you never go, then at some point it's punishing yourself more than Fisher what really is being achieved.
Agreed.
I know, but it's just a matter of the principle of it.
It is. And it's something I've said. I continue to battle. It's a personal battle that I've had with myself in the last couple of years with supporting the A's because the players deserve it. Mm-hmm. But what we always talk about, you want to hurt somebody, hurt them financially, hurt them in the pockets.
Yeah.
Don't showcase your money and allow them to do it. And it's not like, and let me peel back the curtain. We have opportunities here working here to get tickets for free. So it's not as if I'm paying for these tickets if I didn't want to. But still, the fact of the matter is, I feel like I would be supporting John Fisher just being in-house.
Ward also says, can you imagine lighting beams off the Tower Bridge afterwards? Do we do that? Would have the green beam? If the
Yeah.
Emil joins us. Emil brought to you by Timber Creek Golf Course. Emil, the green beam, you're not down with that?
No, we're not giving the beam. Come on.
Come on. It's not just a Kings thing. It's a Sacramento thing.
No, it's a Kings thing. Let's not. What have they done to deserve the beam, honestly?
Well,
did it change the color?
I mean, given that, it'd be the green beam. Given the way the A's have played lately, you'd probably light it like 7 times a year.
Every fortnight.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that often. By then, though, who knows?
My only question with this is thinking about the River Cats. Like if they're sharing the stadium.
Yeah, we were just talking about that.
Where are they going to play?
Someone suggests in the chat, they'll go to Lincoln. I don't know.
No.
Man, you want to see attendance really drop, go to Lincoln.
I would think that they would probably move temporarily, and they would be compensated handsomely. The Savages still own. Do they still own the River?
No, Vivek, right? Vivek.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, then because Vivek won
Vivek's
Major
group,
League
I should
Baseball
say.
here.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for the correction. I apologize. Vivek's all in on this, so he's already got a plan.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the part of it.
Yeah.
That's part of it, Legend. It's like we as a city, Sacramento, want to show we can do this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we're taking the shortcomings of another city and definitely the shortcomings of of an ownership group who doesn't, who has shown over and over that they can't figure this out. And so we're assisting 2 or 3 different, situations, like two or three different themes. And it's just tough because just as the texter put in, look, I can remember when Seattle was yearning for the Sacramento Kings.
Oh, yeah.
It was on the 1 yard line.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah. Emil, what's going on with Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah, a bit of interesting news in this morning breaking with him getting suspended for. We don't know what the prescribed medication is what they're using, but it was not on the NFL exempt list. So that's why he's getting the 2-game suspension. And really, frankly, this is a unceremonious end to his time with the Las Vegas Raiders, which was kind of over as soon as Josh McDaniel was gone.
Yeah. Garoppolo suspended 2 games for using a prescribed medication, to Emil's point, without having a valid therapeutic use exemption from the league. That can mean a lot of things. Who knows what it means exactly? Garoppolo will not appeal the suspension. Is there still anybody that's going to sign Jimmy Garoppolo for any reason?
As a backup, I would think so. People, again, like on a 1 year, $5 million kind of thing or something like that, or a 1 year, $4 million with incentives in there, like Sam Darnold this year. He still is a valuable veteran that's played in a Super Bowl and a lot of games.
But the problem with Jimmy is, you want your backup in case somebody gets hurt, and he always gets hurt. So it's like, do you want a backup to get, if he gets hurt, then it's Josh Johnson time again.
Yeah.
The poor guy gets hurt all the time, every year.
And it's tough because it's not like Jimmy Garoppolo is old, in terms of like NFL, like quarterback. Like he's not like he's in 35 past. He's at like 32 years old. He's not old at all by any means. And we forget he just signed a 3-year deal last year coming from the Niners. And it didn't work out. Wasn't the right system, wasn't the right fit.
He got 33 and 3/4 guaranteed. Yeah.
Well,
it was 78, right?
Yeah, 78. Yeah.
Yeah. 3 years, $72.75 million, included
Thank you.
$33.75 million guaranteed.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, I mean, the best thing to come out of it is for the Raiders. They don't have to pay him that $11 million extra guaranteed that he was going to be owed this year, and they can just kind of cut him and kind of wipe their hands clean, move on to the next chapter, which should be exciting for Raider football.
And they don't know, as far as the Raiders go, forget Jimmy G for a moment, they don't know what they're going to do quarterback, right?
They have some ideas.
They have some ideas what they might do.
I have some ideas.
Draft?
Draft
got to be draft.
Free agent. I mean, there's just about everything's on the table.
Here's the rumor, because as someone who went to Arizona State and knows Antonio Pierce a little bit,
Wait, what? You know him?
I've watched him. I understand his relationships.
Just clarify.
I know who was there while he was there.
Okay.
There were 2 people who were there while he was there. One, Brandon Ayuk, and one, Jaden Daniels, the former Heisman Trophy winner for LSU. Both Jaden and Brandon were on the same team in 2019. The final year Brandon was in college. The same year Jaden was an emerging freshman coming onto that team. They are very, very close to what I have heard between Antonio, Jaden, and Brandon. And the hope, what I'm hearing out of Raider Nation, is that they would move up from number 13, I believe, up to take Jaden and then potentially reunite him with Ayuk. That's kind of the rumor I've been hearing around if they could.
As you're speaking there, I just remember, Jay, he's been saying he's a Raider fan.
Yeah, he's pushing it out there. I like it.
That's why he's so excited about
Nothing wrong with that.
Mr. 49er Insider.
Well, there's also that, and then there's also Brand's brother coming out and his girlfriend saying this might be the last time we step foot on. There's a lot of rumors.
Ayuk's not going anywhere.
Unless the Niners trade him, he's not going anywhere. And again, $14.1 million fifth-year option. They want to lower that number, especially this year if they can. But I don't think they're going to be able to do that because Brandon, especially with what the news coming out of Detroit with Amon-Ra St. Brown wanting his $25 million, Brandon's a $20 million plus wide receiver. And he's going to want to get his money.
Let me say this, and I didn't mean to cut you off there. I like Brandon Ayuk, but he's not worth $20 million. He's not.
Yeah,
he might be to them.
But see, I disagree with that, Whitey, in the fact of this, and I say this.
When you disagree, don't call me legend.
Legend. You're still legend. I disagree in the fact of this. I don't think he is top flight. I can break a game open material wide receiver. He hasn't shown that to me.
Fair.
And for me to pay somebody $20 million, and again, I'm not paying them, but I'm saying, compared to just what you said, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then we're talking about, Justin Jefferson's and all. Brandon, as a 49er fan, we have to be realistic. He's not those guys.
Are you saying that he basically doesn't have the bust out speed that you like from a top wideout?
Well, I think he doesn't have the bust out speed, and I don't think he's electric as some of those guys, top flight wide receiver guys.
Because I think he's a great route runner.
I believe that.
I think he's a great receiver in
I
this
think so
system,
too.
and I think he's a perfect fit.
I do, but I don't think this is the thing. I don't think he's a one. And I think we've seen what we need to understand is this. If he was a one, he would be a game changer. I don't think Brandon Ayuk's a game changer at all, from my standpoint. And the reason why is he hadn't changed no games. Like the one thing people can argue about Debo as far as, well, he's not a route runner. He's not he's single-handedly carried the Niners at points in time.
Yeah, but he's not even and I don't mean that as an insult.
Sure.
I don't know what Debo is. He's everything.
He's a weapon.
Yes.
Like McCaffrey.
Correct.
They're weapons.
Correct.
Wide back and all that.
Yeah. But he's a game changer. Would you agree with that?
Oh, there's no question.
Yeah. See, I don't think Brandon Ayuk is that guy.
I understand why you're saying that. I would quit. I think he is. And I think we've seen that at times this year. The fact that Brock has such good chemistry with him in this system. I understand your point, but to me he is, and to me the 49ers have to bring him back.
Here's the only thing I'll push back on with you, and I understand where you're coming from.
Sure.
Because again, 3 receptions in the Super Bowl, that's not always on brand. That's on the offense.
Yeah, of course.
But you're right. You're right. You could have used a lot more.
Absolutely.
But
many times.
This is the biggest argument for Brandon Ayuk in terms of he can be a breakout guy like the Amon-Ra, the Devontae, all these number one receivers.
Sure.
Brandon Ayuk, out of all the emerging wideouts, compared to even Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 119 receptions last year. Brandon Ayuk had 75.
75, yeah.
That is 45 less receptions in one season, and yet he only had 200 less yards. My theory is that Brandon Ayuk had the most yards per catch last season. He has shown the ability to break off big plays whenever he gets open. He's probably one of the best route runners in the NFL, and because of that, there's a reason why Spot Track is tracking his number for a new contract around $23 million, because they know with the increased volume, he could potentially have those numbers like an Amon-Ra St. Brown.
And I don't know if you have the numbers there, and I'm just curious. I'm not trying to trump you because I don't know what they are. Wish I hadn't said that. I'm not trying to top you. Did Detroit throw more than the 49ers? I know they ran the ball a lot too. So, when you consider this guy that many catches, how many times are they throwing
opportunities?
The ball? So I would want to, I don't know.
Detroit was more of an air raid offense, sure, but the Niners were also number one explosive plays last season. And so that plays a part of Ayuk was a big part of that. Same with Debo Samuel, McCaffrey. Their air offense was one of the best in recent memory last year. So Ayuk was a big part of that and has been for 2 years now.
When we come back, now that the dust is cleared, was Steve Wilks, Kyle Shanahan's scapegoat. I know Emil had some interesting things to write about that, and we'll tackle that when we come right back. It's Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
When the unexpected happens, trust AutoAccident.com. Loyalty and compassion set them apart. They're with you every step of the way. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Shop can't miss deals on appliances this President's Day at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $75 on every $750 you spend on all major appliances, like LG, America's most reliable line of home appliances. Shop in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 2/28. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and me the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Jiffy Lube, your place for oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. Hey, for valuable coupons and a location near you, visit jiffylube.com.
Maida Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2024 half-ton Silverado in stock. 2.9 for 72 plus great Maida Chevy savings on new Silverado. Online at maidachevy.com. Together, let's try.
15,000 finance with finance for GM.
Hagen Oaks is introducing the hot new Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke line of drivers, fairways, hybrids, and iron sets that are sweeter from every spot. AI Smoke is designed with thousands of real player data and a revolutionary new AI Smart Face for sweet spots across the entire face. Ask about the full line of Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke woods and irons and find your sweet spot at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com. Whether you prefer thrills or serenity, the 2024 Accord from Elk Grove Honda delivers both. With Honda Sensing Standard, the 2024 Accord is once again a winner of the 2024 Car and Driver's 10 Best Cars, making Honda the winningest brand in car and driver award history. Drive a 2024 Accord Hybrid and see for yourself what the fuss is all about. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, get a free T-check and free exam. Book your appointment today at Revive Sacramento. We know we can help you. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let's fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $67. Plumbing, sewer, electric, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sell-a-thon, get 0 down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at FolsomLakeFord.com.
So break your heart to come in here without Kyle?
Yeah.
Chat with?
Yeah, me and Kyle really get me and Kyle really he's my frenemy. We have this whole wrestling heel vibe right now that I really get a good kick out of.
Remember a few weeks ago, I think it's when we were out at the arena and you guys were getting into it about something. And I heard from so many people about that. People like, oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the sales staff downstairs, they were locked
Everybody
in
was-
because again, we have here at KHCK, here at Sactown Sports, we have the radio going on across the floors and across the sales staff hours. So they heard the whole conversation whether they wanted to or not. So they heard me and Draper going just at it, and they're like, "What is happening right now on air?" I got a lot of texts about that.
Yeah. By the way, for those who haven't heard today's interesting news, is it big news? We'll see. According to The Athletic, Sacramento is the front runner to temporarily house the A's. The story doesn't say Sacramento is a front runner. The story in The Athletic says Sacramento is front runner. We're the front runners, Jay. That means we're in front. We got the lead here.
Yeah.
Although I'm not sure this is a race we
Want to win,
but maybe I'm overthinking it because there's a lot of fans here in the chat. Text lines like Sacramento baseball. This would be great. Just roll with it.
Yeah.
I go to games. I'd go, and I'm a Giants fan. I'd still go to games. Like it's Major League Baseball in Sacramento. Never had that before. I'm intrigued.
I know. It's too bad that they didn't finish the second deck on the stadium.
Yes.
Yeah.
They had to.
Yeah.
I won't say rush it, but they had to get some things done over there. Second deck, and I think that Whitey, correct me if I'm wrong. There was always an opportunity in the powers that be mind that Sacramento could house a baseball organization, a pro baseball organization. And that was just what you're speaking to is, at the time, Rayleigh Field was built to be considered to, have expansion, be able to expand.
Yes.
And I think we've come to find out now that probably isn't the case anymore. But, I'm a big proponent. Money could change anything at this point in my life. I've seen it change just about everything. And so I think if they really wanted to, they'd knock that thing down if they had to.
I remember years ago going to Petco Park in San Diego.
Beautiful ballpark.
Yeah.
Just beautiful ballpark.
And it was fairly new. It was in the first couple of years. And I remember being down there and looking around, and I honestly thought this to myself. I thought, I just don't think Sacramento could ever do anything like that.
Why not?
Well, that's what I thought. That's my point. That was before the Golden One was built.
Mm.
And then you go in there, and every time I go in there, I think of that. I was like, well, nope, we did it.
Yeah.
And I know it's not a
See it to
baseball
believe it.
stadium, but we could do something like that. Vivek has shown, and again, as we keep saying, the powers that be have shown that we can do that here. And there's a tremendous amount of interest in it. There was a time, and I think we've talked about this, people may remember this, Kevin McClatchy owned the Sacramento Bee.
Yes.
He also owned the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah.
And it wasn't uncommon to read, somewhere on the internet, the Pirates will be moving to Sacramento. So it was something that was considered. It never came close to happening, but we were kind of in the running when Lukenbill was first. He was trying to build a baseball stadium.
Lukenbill.
He had arranged he had an agreement with Major League Baseball to have some exhibition games here in Sacramento. So it's something that a lot of people have been trying to get on track for many, many years now.
Sure.
Major League Baseball in Sacramento. I don't know how
It's doable.
close this would put us, but
I think the city is dying just for the professional sports team.
Yes.
Like
agreed.
you see the teams that come out the fans that come out just for the Republic, and that's USL Soccer. Like if we had a Major League Soccer team, there'd be droves of people.
Well, you guys, a year ago, you guys were here full time, and I wasn't. But wasn't there a lot of talk about Vivek and maybe even a hockey team?
Yeah, there was.
He had put in a bid for.
That's right.
Let me look that up.
Nashville Predators or the Coyotes or somebody.
I want to say it was
Arizona Coyotes.
Arizona, yeah. I want to say it was Arizona.
Probably was Arizona.
Or no, was it a Canadian team? Let me look that up real quick. But he had put a bid in, and
Ottawa, Winnipeg.
It was. He was saying he wasn't gonna move the team. He was gonna keep the team somewhere up that way. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just like when they bought Oklahoma City bought the Sonics. We're not going to move them.
Nope.
But anyway, I think you're right. Yeah, there's a lot of people here with a lot of pull who are trying to get another major league team here.
Yeah, I think it'd do well. I really do. This is a sports town.
Mm-hmm.
Look how well the Kings do.
By the way, Rob Manfred is you should be respectful. He's ham-handed sometimes and tone deaf. And I know, Emil, you're a Giants fan. Good for you. And Rob Manfred was talking, was it yesterday? He was talking about a number of things. It was like his spring training press conference.
Oh, gosh.
And people said, the Oakland will be without a team. And he says, well, it's okay. It's not like the area doesn't have a team. The Giants are still there. So basically it's like, hey, Ace fans, just root for the Giants. No, you idiot.
That's
Do you think White Sox fans are going to go, I'll root for the Cubs now?
No way.
No,
no way. And it's the Ottawa Senators. They put in a bid in for it.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Between that and him announcing his tenure is going to end in 2029, which is just such troll vibes. I couldn't believe. I mean, I can because it's Rob Manfred. He's one of the worst I've ever seen. But
it's almost like he goes out of his way to show us, I don't really like baseball.
I know.
You can't get rid of me. I'm here, guys.
I don't know.
He said that he wasn't. He had alerted everyone because I'll be 70 and I want to let everybody know this will be my final term. And yeah, right, man.
Yeah, that's what Seelig. There was a lot of talk. Seelig was going to leave, and it took him a long time.
It's part, and I know we got Emil here, so we're going to talk a little 49ers, but it's part of baseball. and let's do this next hour because it makes me feel better about myself as an Oakland A's fan. I could list 30 reasons where baseball has failed the Oakland A's, and not even the city, not the ownership, just MLB itself has failed the Oakland A's.
Mm-hmm. Campio says the A's are going to move, so why not host them? Maybe things work out and investors step in and they end up staying here. I know, but you literally have fans in Oakland going, please don't do that. You guys know what this feels like. That's tough. That matters.
No, it does. But I'd rather them be in Sacramento than Vegas. Vegas doesn't want them. They do not want them. I'm being honest. I've talked to people in Vegas. I have family out in Vegas. They don't want them.
Oh, I know.
They really. It's an adamant thing of like, we already got the Raiders. We got I think there'd be more attendance for Aces games than for A's games. Honestly, I'm being dead honest with you guys.
I wouldn't be surprised. Certainly the hockey team. Yeah, they love the hockey team.
They love the Knights.
Now the Raiders, they're kind of okay with them, right? They don't feel like Vegas fans don't feel like it's really their team.
Raider fans travel as it is anyway, but it's more of a, just like how SoFi is, it's more of a corporate spectacle that way too. And Jay, we were there. Yeah. You could feel it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So they got their basketball team. They love their hockey team. How they're getting their baseball team somehow. How does that happen? Has that ever happened before where a major league team in any sports, like they're moving to a city that really doesn't care if they're coming or not? I wonder if, honestly,
Vegas is its own animal, though.
Yeah, they're not like they're not diehard people that have been there for, I mean, there are, yes, on the outskirts, but like Vegas is more of a entertainment capital, more of a go-to kind of place, more touristy that way.
I remember when the Grizzlies left Vancouver and they moved to Memphis, I don't think there was a large outcry. I don't think Memphis was going nuts, and they support the team reasonably well, and they got a new arena. So I can't recall anything like this where you've got the town, by all reports, that's getting the new team just like, okay.
Well, they don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the mayor of the town going, they should stay.
Yes.
They really should
and
stay.
when you read and listen and do your research, most of it is coming from a federal standpoint. Yeah. Or I should say a state standpoint.
You're right. Yeah.
Is the state is pushing
ramrod
the A's, where the city is like,
the city wanted it to to be different. And yes. The mayor's like, well, that's not how we would do it. So maybe they should just
Mayor
stay.
Goodman is like, yeah, we wanted to put them way out by the military base, where
with no roof,
right?
The nuclear testing site,
and one of the major proponents of the A's coming there is the teachers union. Mm-hmm. Like, they've been one of the ones who have stepped up and absolutely have been a thorn in Oakland A's coming to Las Vegas, is saying like, listen, typical. How are we getting ready to throw $200-300 million at a new team where we need the books, we need the technology, we need those type of the same stuff we continue to hear, but because they've gotten teams so fast, I think the people that live there are like, look, we're okay. We're fine. And that's kind of what Emil was saying.
They got a lot more problems there, including their roads. Fix your roads, Vegas.
Man, you ain't lying.
Fix your roads.
Construction is crazy right now.
It's nasty. Nasty.
Yeah, and they haven't even started the stadium yet. 1, 2, 3
Tropicana look bad on the corner too, by the way.
It does not look good,
1, 2, 3 strikes, and you're out for Steve Wilkes. Next, Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Skies will stay cloudy tonight, but it'll be dry. Overnight lows will stay around 50. During the day tomorrow, the morning looks dry. We'll get some rain for the afternoon and evening. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA 3 app.
Doug Christie here. It's Folsom Lake Kia's President's Day sales event. Save on new 2024 Kias with low payments, low finance rates, and zero down deals on approval of credit. Shop Folsom Lake Kia in the Folsom Auto Mall.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got good news. The American Energy Heat and Air $0 HVAC diagnostic has been extended to February 29th. That's right. It expired at the end of January, but want to give you all an opportunity who missed out to get in. It's a $99 value. All right, it's $100, and right now it's free. I don't know how much easier I can pitch that. Normally $100, now $0. Let the American Energy team test your system, your connections, and all the moving parts of that system to make sure it's functioning properly. And you know who's going to be coming to your home? A group of people that have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. A group of folks that have been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. $0 HVAC diagnostic. Normally a $100 value right now at American Energy Heat and Air. Go to AmericanEnergyAir.com or call them to make your appointment. 916-520-9990.
37,000, 25, 1. These are the three numbers to remember to get the visibility and control you need to make the right business decisions instantly. 37,000. That's the number of businesses which have upgraded to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, streamlining accounting, financial management, inventory, HR, and more. 25. NetSuite turns 25 this year. That's 25 years of helping businesses do more with less, close their books in days, not weeks, and drive down expenses. 1. Because your business is one of a kind, so you get a customized solution for all of your KPIs in one efficient system with one source of truth. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need to grow, all in one place. Right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to give you consistently excellent performance absolutely free at netsuite.com/company. That's netsuite.com/company to get your own KPI checklist. netsuite.com/company.
Hey, California. Sellathon means big savings. Sellathon means great selection. Sellathon means 5 days to save. So visit your California Ford dealer now through President's Day and get great offers on the most popular Ford trucks and SUVs. Like the built Ford Tough F-150, part of Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 47 years and counting. Or the adventure-ready Ford Bronco Sport with GOAT modes to help you conquer the great outdoors. And the always electrifying Ford Mustang Mach-E with 0 to 60 thrills and 0 emissions. It's the Ford President's Day Sellathon. And that means now is the best time to get behind the wheel of your brand new Ford truck or SUV and drive it home today. But hurry, these offers absolutely end February 19th. So go to your California Ford dealer today. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
At the UPS Store, we know this upcoming holiday is when things can get busy for small business owners.
Exactly. My to-do list and I don't take days off.
That's why you can count on us to be open and ready to help with every small business need, whether it's packing and shipping or if it's just to check your mailbox.
That's almost everything on my to-do list. My list and I can take the day off.
Your local, the everything to help you be unstoppable store. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. The UPS Store locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours may vary. See Center for details.
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Emil Fregoso is with us. It's Drive Guys, Whitey and Jay, with Kyle Draper headed to Cabo. All-Star vacation. Now that the dust has settled a little bit, the smoke is cleared, good time to take a quick peek back at what happened with Steve Wilks and the defensive coordinator position. Jay, I know you and I talked about that. I think you and I agreed that he was not being scapegoated. Emil wrote about this at SactownSports.com, and you had, Emil, the 3 signs that this was, 3 signs of writing was on the wall for Steve Wilks' 49er tenure.
Yeah.
What was your first sign that, hey, this ain't going to work?
The first 5 weeks were going great. Again, they were blowing out teams coming off the Cowboys win of 42-10. They were blowing teams out. The defense looked great. Then week 6 happened where they lost to the Browns. Okay, bad weather. The offense didn't do so great. You can give them a pass on that. Week 7, Minnesota Vikings, where Kirk Cousins torched them for 378 yards. That was a season-high passing yard torch by Kirk Cousins, who has in the past, yes, torched them, but not to the level of that degree. And it really kind of all stems from at the end of the first half on the cover zero blitz blunder, which Various Ward. And Kyle Shanahan coming out publicly and undermining Steve Wilks was very, very apparent of a little bit of disconnect that was kind of brewing of, we want to dial up these pressures, but at a certain time, at the right time. And Wilks' timing for that stuff wasn't in the same ideology of Kyle's. And that's kind of where the first blunder was for their tenure.
But I think given that a coach doesn't and shouldn't be criticizing coaches or players publicly, in that case, it was warranted.
The NFL's lead.
It was such a blunder.
Yes.
There was no reason at that time to be in cover zero.
And I believe Kyle did it because the message wasn't going through to Steve privately, that you made the mistake. You got to own up to it. We have to fix this. And so that's why Kyle came out and said it, because Kyle, again, very honest, blunt coach. He's gonna voice his opinion, whether you like it or not. Typically, though, when it comes to the media, though, they're reserved. They hold back certain answers. They're very, very trained how they answer the media's questions. So for Kyle to come out and say that, and then for Steve to respond saying, I take full responsibility for that call. I have to do a better job in putting the guys in a better position. We have good players. I know that and can't really press the issue. And with that moving forward, it's my responsibility to do that. So wish I could take it back. But again, I have to be better. That's what he said at week 7.
All right. So we'll get through these 3 strikes and then we'll make our judgment. Is he being scapegoated? That was strike 1. What was strike 2 against him?
Strike 2, to be or not to be in the booth. And that came after week 8 going into the bye week against Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. They got smoked. 44-23, I believe, was the score there. And Burrow, again, 400 total net yards or 31-17, sorry, was the score. I was thinking of the Kansas City game years back. Again, dropping 3 straight games going to the bye week, not a good look. But there was this disconnect of should Steve come down from the booth? Should he stay up there? What was the issue? And again, before even the season started, Steve Wilks mentioned of why he was coaching in the booth, which was, I get too emotional on the sidelines. I don't want that to be a detriment to the team. If you watch this 49ers defense over the years of Robert Saleh, D'Amico Ryans, they're an emotion-based unit. They thrive off emotion. They thrive off camaraderie, brotherhood, all this stuff. So for Wilks to kind of take himself away from that was very questionable even at the time. It didn't really work out. And it's why Kyle had to have the discussion of, hey, man, we got to move you down from the booth. And everything seemed to be hunky-dory up until the back half of the regular season and then the postseason, which is the third blunder.
Yes, but backing up to that move down onto the field, Jay, I remember you were playing the audio and we were talking about that at the time. And just to hear Steve Wilks trying to justify it, trying to frame it in terms of why I wanted to do this.
Yeah.
When you knew he didn't want to do it, it was cringeworthy.
It was.
Yeah.
It was tough. It was very, and you knew the pressures from up top. And Emil, please correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I read a few times, and I think even from you, the captains like Fred Warner, Greenlaw, kind of saying like, look, we fed off of looking at our defensive coordinator.
Yeah. That is absolutely correct. They mentioned the communication thing was the biggest issue. That's why Kyle moved now, is because the communication wasn't there. It was lacking between Steve Wilks, the linebacker, to the defensive line, because they were taking the calls from defensive line coach Chris Kasarik. And that was kind of stemming throughout the rest of the season, is that they were kind of leaning on Kasarik to do more of that stuff. And Steve was just calling the back half, the secondary stuff. And when there's that disconnect in the defense, it never works out well. And that kind of was what brewing, and it kept brewing going into the second half of the regular season and then into the postseason.
I think you could even see some of that in the Super Bowl. And I don't know if it was specifically Kasarik, Wilks, and the linebackers, but you could see players looking to the sideline. There was confusion on the field. Even on that fateful last drive, there was a sense of, what are we doing? Which is not ideal in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and that was the final straw, was the run defense. And the biggest, and again, one of the Niners' biggest hallmarks, especially on defense, was their run defense. Number 1 and number 2, 2021, 2022. Regressed all the way to, Jay, close your ears, 26th in the NFL. 26th. Man. That is unacceptable.
Wow.
Unacceptable for a team.
And they had been second, right?
They were second last season.
Yeah.
To go down from 2nd to 26th, despite adding another star defensive tackle and Javon Hargrave, is unacceptable.
Yeah, and for as creative as Kyle Shanahan is, 49er football is still based on a pretty basic principle. We run the ball, we stop the run.
Yes.
And they didn't do that.
Right.
The biggest issue over the years was the secondary, and that's why Steve Wilks was brought in to help coach up these guys, and he did help them to a degree. Absolutely, Tyrese Haliburton made his first Pro Bowl, and Theodore Lenore was fantastic in the postseason. But for all the pros that Steve brought for the secondary, the cons just outweighed them way too much. And you could see it brewing in the playoffs when the Detroit went up big and was just running all over the field. I mean, when's the last time you had to have an effort issue with this Niners defense?
Right.
And that was an issue in the conference championship game of
Great
guys
point.
just not being right. And then Kyle, of course, famously in overtime on the 2nd and 6, calling a timeout.
That's the one.
Because he hated the cover 0 blitz. And even me and Jared watched it going, why the hell are they running prevent defense?
Very true.
With Patrick Mahomes, he knows how to dissect that on the back of his hand with his eyes closed. And that was the problem, is that Steve, they were not connected on that part.
Emil, I want you to make sure you clarify this for the listeners, and I want to make sure I heard this correctly. Chris Kasarik was still relaying the plays that Steve was calling even when Steve came down to the field?
No, that's why Steve was brought down to the field. They were leaning on Kasarik more to help them, to help the defense translate Steve's calls while he was in the booth. When Steve came down, that's why Steve came down to have better connection with the linebackers and with the defensive line. But Kasarik was still a focal part of the defensive line and the linebackers because that was a system they've always run. Again, Steve Wilks came into this thing in the first year and had to run the Niners system, not his system, on the fly, learn it on the fly. And he talked vehemently in various times throughout the year about how he's had to adapt and learn and do different things. And when you're this talented with this talented group, you got to change it and be unique with this stuff. And that's the problem, is that Steve wanted to run something, Kyle wanted to run something, and they couldn't find a way to marry the two things together. And that's why ultimately the demise happened.
So what do you think, Jay? Scapegoat or no? Was it scapegoated?
Oh, man, Emil's pushing it a little further to the side now for me. I'm going to say, can I give you percentages?
Sure.
Okay, 75.
Hang on to it. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back with our judgments.
Okay.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Hit us up on the text line, YouTube chat. Steve Wilks, now that we've had a little time to digest that brutal defeat, was he being scapegoated? Was this firing a scapegoat move by Kyle Shanahan? Next with the Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-5795. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-583-5795. That's 800-583-5795. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Are you ready for the deal of a lifetime? This week only during the President's Week sale, get ready to rev up your savings at Elk Grove Kia and elkgrovekia.com. The doors swing wide open every day at 9 a.m., and we're unleashing the biggest selection of pre-owned and brand new vehicles you've ever seen. With so many options to choose from, you're sure to find the car of your dreams. But hold on to your seats, because here's the best part. Our prices are slashed to the bone, and they're so incredible that we can't broadcast them. You have to come down and see for yourself. Don't wait. This is a 1-week only event. And to make it even better, you can drive away with your dream car right on the spot. No waiting, no hassle. Just instant delivery right on site. Remember, the President's Week sale happens this week only at Elk Grove Kia and elkgrovekia.com. Doors open at 9 a.m. sharp. Elk Grove Kia, where the biggest savings and the hottest wheels await during the President's Week sale, only at
Elk Grove Kia.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I couldn't not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought them. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
For sore feet, aching back, knee, or hip pain, come to the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, or Vacaville.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
Got a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sell-a-thon, get 0 down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at FolsomLakeFord.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports. The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
How about this local news today? The Athletic reporting that the A's are likely to move to Sacramento temporarily. Sacramento is the front runner now to land the A's on that temporary basis between leaving Oakland and moving to Vegas. Brodie Brazil from NBC Sports San Francisco is going to join us in about 10 minutes, so we'll find out from Brodie if he sees the story the same way the Athletic does. Looking forward to that, as Jay and I all show long have been wrestling with, that's great, right? But wait, that's bad for the fans of Oakland. But wait, we'd have baseball here. So
we're torn.
Yeah.
Torn, yeah.
Yeah. I think ultimately it's a very exciting day for Sacramento. But I believe Dave was on record, Dave Wigland of the J. Ross
of the morning
Wigland.
show. Huh?
Yeah, I believe weeks ago he said, I can't get behind that, given everything that Kings fans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave's very vehemently against this.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see what there is to that when Brodie joins us. And Emil has been with us here. By the way, question for you from Manny Too Legit, Return of the Empire later today?
Yes, Return of the Empire, final live episode.
Really? Just the last one.
For again, we're going to take a short break. We will be back with podcast form for the off season. We'll be back for free agency next month and then for the draft as well. Sporadically, again, up to date at my Twitter at Emiliano Fergoso for all Return of the Empire news.
Great. All right. We've been talking about Steve Wilks now that we've had some time to digest this and separate ourselves from the emotion that went into our analysis of a lot of the Super Bowl. And Emil just ran down 3 signs that this was probably going to happen, that Steve Wilks was going to be fired. And you can see those at SactownSports.com. So we're going to render our verdicts now. First, on the chat, Compio says the guy coaches a defense to a Super Bowl, holds Mahomes to 19 points in regulation, and is fired.
Yeah.
Kyle deflects attention from his play calling, ... So there's certainly that. But Jay, you were just about to render your decision here.
Yeah.
Can we say, hey, scapegoat or not? Steve Wilks getting fired. Did Kyle Shanahan scapegoat him or not?
The optics look like a scapegoat. I'm going to go 80-20. I think he was scapegoated.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, I think the optics showcased that, they had to put it on someone. When I say they, meaning John Lynch or Shanahan or, someone, whoever, the ownership group had to take the step back and take a look at it. And the one thing would be terrifying, as much as many, we have the TCs of the world and we have people who chime in and talk about Shanahan should be, feet should be to the fire. I'll say this. If there's anything that would probably electrify the 49er empire, is if someone right now, John Lynch or ownership, came out and said, you know what? Or we'd see a Emil Fergoso report, an Adam Schefter report, some type of report that came out and said Kyle Shanahan is on the hot seat. You better believe the electrification of the 49er empire would start right now. And so I think coming off the Super Bowl loss, coming off how it happened, overtime, Pat Mahomes, second time again, defense didn't play up to snuff in the fourth quarter. The OT, they let the game-winning drive go through, and all the great facts that Emil just proposed to us. I think he was scapegoated.
How about you, Emil? And you just broke down reasons why we should have known this was coming based on the way things unfolded this year.
I don't think he was scapegoated. That's just my personal opinion. I in terms of scapegoat, as like it was all his fault. It was all this. I don't think it was all his fault. I think Kyle was to blame. Yes, the offense stalled out, and that was kind of the reason they lost the Super Bowl, is that they didn't create enough offensively. But there were signs of this just breaking down throughout the year and it not working out. And even if they won the Super Bowl, I think it was a possibility he was let go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think Kyle Shanahan scapegoated Steve Wilks because he didn't need to.
Nope.
He didn't. He's not under pressure from ownership. They love him.
He has full control.
So he didn't need to offer a sacrificial lamb like, well, my fault. Look at this guy. But the look is terrible, of course.
Man. Yeah.
And as Kyle Draper hit the nail on the head a couple days ago, and I think we've all talked about this. Hiring Steve Wilks in the first place was a bad hire.
Yes.
And that's on Kyle.
And that's where I said as well is that it's not a scapegoat, it's an omission of wrongdoing for this hire.
Admission of wrongdoing.
Admission, yes. I got it. Big words again.
I understand. Yeah.
It's an
been a long season.
Yeah.
25 weeks.
Yeah.
It looks like a scapegoating, but in a way, if you really look at it, it's very damning of Kyle Shanahan because he's made a series of bad decisions at quarterback, and he looks like he finally, Brock Purdy falls out of the sky in his lap. Oh, I got it right. Yeah. But this was a terrible decision from the jump, and that's why all those signs that you pointed to were there.
Which is why with this time around, they have to get it right. They can't get it wrong because otherwise, just like we're talking about with the rumors of Kyle being on the hot seat. Kyle will be on the hot seat. John will be on the hot seat if they get this wrong.
Is it Chris Kasarik though? Like,
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
He will not. He will not
so
be.
Entrenched in being the line coach.
I can tell you this right now. I can report this. Chris Kasarik, I would say 75% is not getting the job. He does not want it.
He does not. He likes what he does so much.
Typically, defensive line guys do not want that because they're so ingratiated with their own group. They don't see it the same way. It's why former linebackers, and linebacker coaches are so good at taking that middle of the park job because they're connected with the back end and the front end.
He could probably get it if he wanted.
Well, and
yes.
I asked that question because I think part of the naysayers is they went outside the organization and hired Steve Wilks compared to Saleh and D'Amico. Those guys were more inside. Yep. And so you look at Mike McDonald, that type of situation. And so I was wondering, hearing what you were saying with Chris passing on the plays. It's like, I didn't know he didn't want it, but could they go back outside again? And it seemed like the 49er Empire be okay with it.
I have two names inside the Niners that would get it over Kasarik.
Really?
Daniel Bullock, their DB coach, Daniel Bullock would get it, who's been there for 6 years now.
Yeah, he's been there since Shanahan, right?
Pretty much, yeah. And then additionally, Johnny Holland, their linebacker coach.
But really?
He ain't getting it. He would get it. He should get it, but he ain't getting it because he's been really sick.
Yeah, he's been dealing with cancer the last couple of years. Yeah. All praise Johnny and his family. And again,
multiple myeloma. He's being treated for, and he's doing well right now. But I don't know if you can assume that kind of
responsibility,
relapse or something.
Exactly. They need him to be in the full thick and thin. Johnny's been excellent in his specific role, and I don't think they want to deviate from that. So I think either Holland or Bullock, especially Bullock, has a shot at it for sure. But I really think that Kyle and John know they need to nail this hire, and it's going to come from the outside.
I would suggest there's a guy by the name of Chris Kiffin. Lane's brother.
Lane's brother, yeah.
He worked with the 49ers 2018, 2019. He was a linebackers coach. Actually, he's the guy that said, hey, you should take a look at a guy that I had, Aziz
Al-Shaair.
Aziz Al-Shaair. Yep. That was his guy. And so they said, take a look at him there. Oh, so he nailed that one. And he's been helping D'Amico Ryans, or he did last year, run the same defense with the Texans this year.
Right.
He's their linebacker coach.
I mean, we're going to hear all the hot names being floated. Is there opportunity to see Brandon Staley come here?
There's always a chance. I don't think that would go over well with Niner fans.
Plus, he's a 3-4 guy.
Yeah,
he's a 3-4 guy, and the last few years with the Chargers did not go well.
No.
Again, he had the one season with the Rams where the Rams team was on fire. I don't think a one season tenure is really enough to write home to bring in, especially considering the stakes for this Niners team, where this is kind of their last hurrah with this unit.
Yeah, it would be coaching malpractice to me if they bring in somebody after Steve Wilkes who is not a 4-3 guy, someone whose system has not always been the cover 3 of the Seattle system,
or a great defensive mind that has the pedigree and the history that the players are going to respect and listen to. I don't think they're going to listen to Brandon Staley as much.
I saw this name floated around, and I got an opportunity to see him at the Super Bowl, and I know he's been doing some consulting and things like that. Rob Ryan.
I've heard this. I've heard this name float around. I have to see it and believe it.
Okay.
I really would. I think they're looking for the more current names in the market, because Rob's been out of it for a little bit.
Yes.
I think it's always possible. Rob Ryan again has the pedigree, but I think
flaming failure in New Orleans, right?
Flaming failure. There's too many cons and pros. There's too many.
That's a heck of a personality to bring in there too, as well.
Yeah, he'd be fired.
Rob Ryan is a personality.
Kyle would be like, no. How about Pete Carroll? Who knows the system better? The Seattle system. He's from San Francisco.
That is true.
I thought about this.
He's a Cali guy too, a little bit.
It's possible. Niner fans would have to put all their emotions aside. Our one of our board ops, Nate Littlefield, as well, would have to put his, because he does not like Pete Carroll, so it'd be fun to see.
But for a Super Bowl at this point, I think you could get most 49er fans.
Richard Sherman came here and everybody's okay.
Yes, true.
Fair, yeah.
Even though he gave up the pass. Yeah, I got you.
No, I understand. Again, Pete would be an excellent person, but also he's an older coach as well, too. Does he have the energy? And so that we'll see.
What about Vrabel?
Vrabel is the guy I think they should go after.
No.
Yes.
But isn't Vrabel a 3-4 guy too?
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
But if they're
can't do it,
if they're going to bring in an outside guy, it has to be a name of pedigree that can lead men. That they're going to listen to, that's younger, that has the juice, that they can try and again, another great defensive mind. Same with Bill Belichick, another great defensive mind that has the pedigree to bring in and really mesh well with Shanahan, what they're trying to look for. And
about Bill Belichick, you mentioned Bill Belichick.
I think that's
personalities wouldn't match.
That's the big fish they're going to try and call, though. I think.
Do you?
You think John Lynch is picking up the phone to tap in Bill Belichick's sale?
I think this Super Bowl was a rough awakening for the Niners, that they have to exhaust every avenue. I mean, they tried to bring Tom Brady home after all, right?
Yeah. True.
It's funny. Why not try to get the coach?
Belichick, I was thinking there's no way. But when you said, do you think John Lynch would phone him up? And I'm remembering the whole Jimmy G thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly how that happened. And when you said that, I thought, maybe. I could see John Lynch.
John is picking up his phone.
Here's the one thing.
Calling Bill Belichick.
Here's the one thing. Here's the one thing I will say about this Niners team. Under John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, they're never idle in an offseason.
That's true.
They always make a big. Always make a big splash. And it wouldn't surprise me if it's a Vrabel or a Belichick.
Wow, it wouldn't surprise you? I would be surprised.
It has to be a big name. They have to hit this out of the park.
Speaking of hitting things out of the park, thank you, Emil.
Thank
we
you.
Appreciate it. I read the news today. Oh boy, the A's may be coming to Sacramento. Brodie Brazil, who's been all over the A's relocation saga from the beginning, from NBC Sports Bay Area, he joins us with his views next, right here with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sactown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into three. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
What's up? As always, we're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram in Woodland. Chad, what's happening for Chrysler's President's Day sale?
It's the biggest savings we've had in years on new heavy-duty Ram trucks. Right now, you can save up to $17,000 off MSRP on new 2024 Ram 2500 Laramie Crew Cab 4x4s. And yes, I said 2024s. Plus, we have Northern California's largest selection of Ram trucks with over 500 available. So you're sure to find your new Ram truck waiting at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center.
$17,000 off MSRP on the brand new 2024s is a big deal. How'd you pull that off?
Hoblet is California's #1 Ram truck dealer and #3 in the nation, which means we have the best selection of the trucks you need at the best prices. No one has a better selection of heavy-duty Ram trucks west of the Mississippi. Plus, when you shop at Hoblet, you're not just a customer, you're family.
Hoblet Dodge, the small-town dealer with big city savings and selection. Start your search at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
17,000 total net savings after 11,379 factory rebates and 5621 dealer discounts. Rebates may include 1,000 case construction rebate. Must have purchased eligible case equipment to qualify, and 500 first responder bonus cash. Must be current member of eligible first responder association. Private net savings. Simple VIN 2217.
What a day to be a Sacramento sports fan. Whitey Gleason, Jay Johnson today. Kyle Draper is vacationing. He's missing what could be a big unforgettable day because the Athletic is reporting that Sacramento is the front runner to land the A's on that temporary basis. We know that the A's were meeting with officials from Oakland and the county and the city about a lease extension. And we're not sure how that's going, but a source is telling the Athletic apparently it's not going that well. So it's time to find out what's going on from our next guest. Let me tell you something, Jay, about Brodie Brazil.
Yes, sir. Speak on it.
Maybe the most patient man in broadcasting history, because years ago I used to do a feature with Brodie.
Two legends?
Weekly feature about ice hockey. And the patience that Brodie had to exhibit.
The Sharks?
Talking to me about ice hockey every week. I will never forget it. Always appreciated. NBC Sports Bay Area insider on the A's. Brodie Brazil, how are you, Brodie?
It is great to talk with you. Obviously, we go back. And yeah, now you have to suffer through me here for this interview. And I don't know how much relevance or insight I can give because there are so many different things out there right now. I'm even having a hard time piecing it all together, putting together what it means, where it's all coming from, what's real, what's not. Today has been a bit of a twister, no lie.
Yeah. Well, I understand that and appreciate your time. Anybody who's interested in this, Brodie has a number of videos at NBC Sports Bay Area that are really, I mean, he's like he was the way you should talk to me about hockey. He looks in the camera and he explains things very surely and steadily. No, really, they're very educational.
They are.
So this may not be fair, Brodie, but the Athletic, as I say, reporting Sacramento is the front runner. Based on what you know, what you've seen, does that make sense to you? Is that the way you see it, or do we just not really know?
I've always thought Sacramento would be a good option. I mean, you consider that the proximity to Oakland, the fact that, and I'm going to call it Rayleigh Field. Sorry, I'm old school.
That's fine.
I'm a 2000s type guy. But it checks a lot of boxes for the A's. I think the fact that they even had that meeting with Oakland, Alameda, and Coliseum officials, just yesterday? And it's crazy. Right after that, it comes out that it was quick. It was cordial. Both sides figured out that they would meet again and there would be further conversations. And then today from the mayor's office that even the prospect of potential guaranteed expansion in Oakland came up, all that. And then all of a sudden, boom, Sacramento from the Athletic is potentially a front runner. But again, going back to the idea that it might be a front runner, no surprise. We all know the official visit that team owner John Fisher and President Dave Kaval made, just a couple weeks ago now. So it all makes a lot of sense. But I just don't know. There's so many logs in the fire right now. Mm-hmm. Tell me why Salt Lake City would not be great competition to that. Tell me why staying in Oakland wouldn't be the absolute easiest thing for the A's to do. I'm not saying that's what they would prefer to do in terms of optics and the kind of lame duck years they would spend at the Coliseum. But Sacramento, to me, has always been one of the top things on the list. There was all that conversation about Summerlin, Nevada, right? The Las Vegas suburb, and they've got the Aviators AAA ballpark, and it's already Las Vegas. But if you're the A's, I don't think you want to start making your first impression in 2025 based on how your baseball team is going to look and how just things have generally been. I don't think they want to go down there until they're absolutely ready. So Northern California and Sacramento have always been, in my opinion, a decision that they should have probably realistically considered. And it's no surprise that they're here right now.
What about this read, Brodie? What do you think of this read on it? Okay, so Oakland meets with the A's. They talk about a lot of things. And apparently, as you say, it's apparent that expansion came up. Is it possible that Oakland asked for a number of things that the A's and or MLB just said, we're not doing that? And so that's why all of a sudden now we're talking about Sacramento's a front runner.
Yeah, it might have been a quick meeting on purpose, not just because both sides planned it that way. It's because, wait, that's how you're starting this? Okay, see you later. We're moving on. We're moving back to Sacramento, right? So it could have been that way. And let's be very honest. I mean, I think Oakland had no choice but to go forward and say, we want one or all of a couple of things. We're interested in acquiring half the land, which the A's are about to own half the Coliseum site. Oakland's interested in potentially keeping the name and logo and colors of the Oakland A's. Like, if you want to go relocate, fine, but Oakland wants the rights to hang on to that, like Seattle with the Sonics, or the thought that Oakland could be guaranteed an expansion franchise by Major League Baseball. And I got to say something here. There is actual precedent to that happening because, let's remember how the Oakland A's got to Oakland. Kansas City got the Royals because the A's departed Kansas City. So baseball can sit there and tell you, well, we're not ready to do that. Or, well, we don't have an expansion committee yet formed to make that type of decision. No, you actually could. You've done it before. And in this case, come on, there should be no surprises. We saw how fast relocation was approved unanimously. I know that they could snap their fingers and say, you know what, let's do it like this. A's move to Las Vegas, or that franchise moves to Las Vegas. Oakland, here's your expansion. We'll do all this stuff to flip in 2028. But, you could have to see, right? And Oakland has said they needed some type of trade-off. If they're really going to represent the community, represent taxpayers as elected officials, they have to get something out of this. So no surprise Oakland came into the meeting that way.
Joined by Brodie Brazil of NBC Sports Bay Area. Brodie, there it seems, and we know this, you've been all over this, for the last couple of years. It seems as if the Oakland A's continue to keep getting that deadline pushed further and further and further and further and further off. And I put so many furthers in there because at this point I've lost track. Can you update me as an Oakland A's fan? And of course I read it, and you started this saying like, look, you're not 100% sure exactly where this is going, but as much as possible, can you update guys like me who's an Oakland A's fan of what is the next deadline that Vegas and baseball has proposed on the Oakland A's to give out some renderings or figure out what you guys want to do?
Well, the Tropicana Hotel will not take your reservation after April 2nd. And I've been, so
I can't go see that Michael Jackson show.
You can't get a $17 room for May, I should say. Sorry, you can for March, not for May. So no, it's a great question. And I think even as recently as January, I'm making a YouTube video and I'm doing some research. And I'm thinking, wait, could I book a room at the Tropicana for December of 2024? You absolutely could. So Bally's and GLPI, the owner of the land and the owner of Tropicana, they recently decided, all right, April 2nd is when we're going to stop taking reservations. We're going to close down the hotel after that. Now, instantly people thought, all right, that's a good move, or that's a good new piece of news for the A's. It means that the project is moving forward. But in reality, it means that Bally's and GLPI, they're also part of the other, 26 of 35 acres, right, on that site. It really says that they are going to move on with whatever they're going to do on the site, with or without the A's. And I say that not to be cruel or to lead you on, but like they've kind of set the date that the train is leaving the station. And the moment they close that hotel is the moment that revenues on that site stop. It starts costing them money to have that land and to not have any income. I mean, $17 a night at a time, but still it's gambling money. It's all the money that they make still on a regular basis to have that hotel open. They've decided they're going to shut it down. So that kind of is a hard deadline. Of all the other stuff that is a little bit flexible, that's a hard deadline. The other one is for scheduling purposes of 2025, and you guys going back to the Sacramento side. And I know I totally realize who I'm talking to here, and that's what you guys are most interested in. This kind of fell in your lap too. The other thing would be is, look, the Major League Baseball initial rough draft schedule, that is typically put out, I have it on perfect word, that is usually something that gets floated around in January. The teams look at it, they make revisions, they ask for different things. But pretty much February, March, and into April, the schedule for next year is set. It doesn't come out until July. But here we are, mid-February, and there's a whole team not represented on the map and on the schedule yet of where they might be playing. And some people say, well, it's in the West, and that's not a big deal. No, again, I have it on word from people who would know about these things, and it is a big deal. Scheduling, logistics, all that stuff. So the A's are definitely on the clock to figure out this temporary location thing as much as the ballpark thing sooner than later. I'm talking weeks versus months.
Brodie Brazil with us, A's Insider, NBC Sports Bay Area. And again, if you're interested in this saga, Brodie has some really informative videos that you need to check out. But Brodie, there's so many questions here that, we may never know the answers to, but a lot of them you can figure out a possible answer. There's one question here to which I have a hard time coming up with any possible answer, and that is, why has Major League Baseball, from the beginning of this process, been so willing to bend over backwards to give the A's and give Fisher whatever they want? You want to go where? We'll waive the expansion fee. Why have Major League Baseball owners been so cooperative with this this slipshod effort to move the team to Vegas.
Part of it is, I think, the A's have done a really excellent job at getting a lot of things for free, right? You mentioned no relocation fee. They're not paying for the land at all. They're also getting 30 years of property tax exemption in this process. So the A's have maneuvered so many things out of this. In fact, GLPI, the company that owns the land, is actually giving the A's $175 million in addition to the free land. Most of that is to take care of the demolition. But anyway, the point being is I think some owners would say, well, gosh, how could we say no? I mean, look what they've already lined up. But the other side of it, and I think this is what you were alluding to, is just that it's a fraternity. And Rob Manfred as commissioner, and I can't believe Rob Manfred, some of the things he said, even in the last 48 hours about how A's fans should just look across the bay and say, well, there's
Giants fans.
And look, it's okay to be a fan of both. There's a lot of people in my own close family who are. That's great, no problem. But you're also telling a certain fan base, we're going to make you extinct. And also, for those of you who survive this, you're going to go over there. I just think that Rob Manfred has clearly become a commissioner of the owners, and that's fine. That's who he works for, Major League Baseball. But that means to me, like, who is, the players have a players association. Tony Clark is the head of that. The owners have Rob Manfred. He's the head of baseball as the commissioner. Who represents the customers in all this? And who's looking out for the fans' best interests and community's best interest? There's kind of nobody that represents, if baseball and sports are a triangle like that, fans, owners, and players, who represents the fans in this case? And the answer is, I don't know. And I think that's what's been most clear about this to me. And look, you guys know very well from the entire King saga of 15 years ago. I mean, the commissioner of the NBA, David Stern, at that point, rest in peace, was such more of a champion completely. That's why they named a street after him in downtown Sacramento.
Yeah, right.
There will never be a Rob Manfred Lane anywhere, I think, on the face of the earth, but especially in Northern California.
Brodie,
you like that?
That's
one,
a great
huh?
point. Yeah. I think part of the real reason I think a lot of Oakland A's fans are super torn, and let me say I'm speaking for myself, and maybe Whitey, I'm speaking for you as well.
About fans in this area?
Yeah, well, just Oakland A's fans and all, and this is something that I've watched you put out different videos and different assertions of so many things. And help me here is, at what point is someone, and we know it's not going to happen in baseball, and I think Mayor Tao has done it to a certain extent, but she still has to play ball. At some point, when is someone going to call Rob Manfred out and get him to respond? Like, he's only done one interview, and I can't remember, it was with one of your compadres, I would imagine. Was it NBC?
It was Raj Mathai.
Yes, right. Yeah. And get him to come out of his cocoon. Like, has there been enough call out for John Fisher from your standpoint, I guess is what I'm asking.
I mean, you could only ask and request so much from somebody. They're not obligated to talk. And what's, I think, interesting is the times that Mr. Fisher has spoken, they've been in Texas after the owners meeting in November when they approved relocation, and also 2 weeks ago in Nevada at a Chamber of Commerce gala or whatever. It's interesting that I don't think he's ever done a public speaking appearance in the state of California since he's been owner of the A's. I have really no answer to that. You're basically saying how do you force out of him what the public wants to hear, and I just don't think you're ever going to get it. It's a picky choosy situation. There are other front facing people in terms of representing the A's. He's obviously chosen the path that he doesn't want to be that. And it's quite the contrast to him. And look at Vivek, right? He's not hard to find. You want to go find him? Go courtside at G1Z, right? There he is. It's just, it's an amazing contrast in this day and age. And I would also say this too. I've been watching recently, for example, the Kansas City Royals and what they're trying to do with the new ballpark. And their owner, Mr. Sherman, came out and delivered a whole speech, and he's sitting first row at a lot of the games. And he's out there saying, we're trying to earn your trust. In this case, I mean, the A's are basically a team that has shut off their social media accounts and even commenting on social media posts that they make and the few and far in between that they still do make. So they've chosen this approach, which, again, I think we are in some of these situations because of the approach they've taken of maybe handling things in a totally different way than most pro sports teams do. I know it was not really the answer to your question because I don't know that there is an answer to that question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brodie Brazil with us. By the way, did you know, Jay, that Brodie is the guy, the trophy that goes to the Bainbridge Series winner?
Oh, no.
Just a piece of that's his idea.
Well,
really? Yes.
Yeah. We had to go all the way up. Yeah.
I thought it was, Brodie.
Yeah.
Wasn't that your idea?
I think it was 2016 or 17. It was right around the time my son was born. I worked with Caltrans. They had just torn the eastern span of the old Bay Bridge down. And I'm like, what connections do I have at Caltrans, right? But sure enough, they're like, we think we can make this work. I'm like, get out of here. They're like, how much do you need? I'm like, 5 pounds. They're like, how about 5,000 pounds? Because we can only cut. So I kid you not. We went out to a scrapyard right by the foot of where the new bridge is, and they said, "Do you want this piece? You take it." And I said, What?" So I work with NBC, work with the A's, work
Wow,
with the Giants.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna say this exclusively. I've never said this anywhere else before. NBC spent, I want to say, about $10,000 to move that piece of steel, to fabricate.
Wow.
So like we invested in it, but it was for the two teams and all that stuff. But look, I know you say that, and I it's been a fun thing. It's been what do you want to say, a polarizing thing for a lot of people. Some people like it, hate it, whatever in between. But if the Bay Area and Northern California loses the two-team sense that we have right now and loses the geographical rivalry, and you know what, full confidence that everybody can be a Giants fan, like that can happen. There's no reason why that can't happen. I'm not suggesting that's the easiest route or that's what anybody feels like they're going to immediately want to do. But I think to change the landscape like this, it's more than just A's fans losing something here. It's the entire region losing something here. And that just stinks. And I know this is part of the business side of sports, and things like this have happened before. Hasn't happened in baseball in a long time, but this whole thing feels more personal the way it's played out than business.
Yeah.
Brodie, I got one more for you. I apologize for taking up so much of your time, but
I love this.
I was going to ask you, about the Sharks power play. We'll have to wait till next time for that. But
you got to shoot the puck more. That's all. Yeah,
that's what I think. Seriously, and I know nobody knows, so we're not going to hold you to this. What do you think are the chances that this A's move to Vegas for one reason or another just falls apart completely and the A's never go there?
My number has fluctuated a lot. If you asked me a year ago at this time, before April 19th and the big announcement, 5%, and then up to 9%, and then up to honestly like 90% after the public money went through, and a lot of things happened this summer. But I think that 90% has dwindled back down to a 50-50 proposition. And I want to be careful when I say that, because the next thing that it's going to come out of my mouth is that does not necessarily mean that the A's will stay in Oakland. That also does not necessarily mean that Sacramento will be an interim host, or quite honestly, maybe land the A's in an interim fashion and then keep them because Las Vegas flops. I mean, there's so many elements to this, but I truly think it is back to a 50-50 situation in Las Vegas. Like, Bally's having some financial issues. Obviously, there must be some reasons. We haven't seen renderings and private financing from the A's. There's too much that they would love to boast about and show you, but they haven't yet. They can't. So in my opinion, at this point, and I could be proven wrong, and that number could go right back up to 90% in a split second within a matter of a couple days and a couple major things. But as of right now, based on the timing of things, what we have seen, what we haven't seen, it's just 50-50 down there. And it still could largely happen, but I think the other 50% of its side will let you know that this thing is far from done.
Let me say this, and Brodie, you've been on our show, going back to when DC was here, Doug Christie was here. I will say this, man, as much as I've watched you and watched, so many of your, constituents with you, Casey Pratt's, the guys like that, this conversation as an Oakland A's fan, and of course, being in this industry, and me and Whitey going back and forth, man, I appreciate it, because it brings a little more clarity as I, within my own mind. As me and Whitey for the last 2 hours have argued about and tussled with the fact if they come to Sacramento, would we go?
Yeah, and it makes you, all that uncertainty makes you anxious. And Brodie, there's a lot of fans here who are kind of torn, because we hear from, Oakland A's fans who say, hey, everybody in Sacramento, you remember what it was like when you almost lost your team. Please don't support this. On the other hand, it's like, Aaron Judge is down the street, potentially. So it's really, we're on the horns of a moral dilemma here. If it comes to that, not sure what to do. So what do we do about that, Brodie?
do you want to be Anaheim? Do you want to be Seattle? What was the guy's name up in Seattle who had officially bought the team?
Chris
Hansen. Yeah.
Chris Hansen,
Chris
right?
Hansen, yeah. So, I mean, do you really want to be that guy? You want to be, a lot of times we say that in life. Do you want to be that guy? No, but it's how could you say no to that? I totally understand it. I've said all along, A's fans have posed to me, what are you going to do personally, professionally? You're going to be a fan? You're going to work in Vegas? And my answer is there's no playbook for this. All of this stuff is so far-fetched from even our thoughts 5 years ago that there's no right. I won't criticize anybody for whatever they think or do or however they handle this situation. And I think time will present a better answer on that. And if it really comes to fruition in Sacramento, and we'll see. Oh, technically, guys, West Sacramento. Okay, you cross that river, you're in West Sac,
Yolo County.
Hey, score it. Yeah. I mean, I'm a 5'10" guy originally, but 415-925. I stopped through the 916. I'm just saying, but
nice.
But no, I love all you up there, and I appreciate even the fact that you're cognizant of that and you're thinking about that. And that's not like, hey, because in Las Vegas, you know what they're saying? Oh, we'll take your team. You doubt us, we'll do whatever we want. I mean, and not all of them, but there is an arrogance down there that they can just make anything work. And it's like, I don't know that you know the entire situation here, but you guys do. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. And by the way, I just flashed back on something. I remember when you and I used to talk every week with Dibs and Kreids, and the NHL where they have they would play outdoors. And I remember you and I saying on the radio, hey, they should play on Lake Tahoe. You remember that? And they did, Brodie. They did it. It was a terrible idea.
Trying to piss me off because the two teams they invited, one of them was the Golden Knights. They were like, Tahoe's in Nevada. You know who plays in Nevada? The Las Vegas Golden Knights. And you're like, wait. Do the math of how far away Vegas to Tahoe is versus Tahoe to the Bay Area.
You're right.
You idiots. That's our team. That's our region. Dummies.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. No, I didn't mean to take you down.
I'm. You know what? This is the true broadcaster in me. Because if we were really having this conversation, I would have dropped a few bombs in there.
All right, Brodie. Thank you. We appreciate it very much. We hope to talk to you again soon. Have a great weekend.
My pleasure. Thank you guys for the support and having me on. And you know what? The attention you guys put on this. That also, I know it's the All-Star break and you're away from the Kings for a little bit, but that in itself can't be appreciated enough. So thank you so much for bringing this topic up.
You got it. The great Brodie Brazil. Meanwhile, Manfred manages to insult A's fans again. We're right back with that. Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Skies will stay cloudy tonight, but it'll be dry. Overnight lows will stay around 50. During the day tomorrow, the morning looks dry. We'll get some rain for the afternoon and evening. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA 3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let's fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $67. Plumbing, sewer, electric, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Hey, California. Sellathon means big savings. Sellathon means great selection. Sellathon means 5 days to save. So visit your California Ford dealer now through President's Day and get great offers on the most popular Ford trucks and SUVs. Like the built Ford Tough F-150, part of Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 47 years and counting. Or the adventure-ready Ford Bronco Sport with GOAT modes to help you conquer the great outdoors. And the always electrifying Ford Mustang Mach-E with 0 to 60 thrills and 0 emissions. It's the Ford President's Day Sellathon. And that means now is the best time to get behind the wheel of your brand new Ford truck or SUV and drive it home today. But hurry, these offers absolutely end February 19th. So go to your California Ford dealer today. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
That doesn't sound good.
paper shredder is jammed, but I think I fixed it.
Oh, well, try shredding these $50 bills then.
Seems like it's working.
Better try another $400.
Stop. Instead of using money, use regular paper. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
No fees on all Kings tickets happening now. You can experience Sacramento Kings basketball live with no fees on all remaining games. Watch as the Kings take on the top teams in both conferences, including big matchups against the Bucks, Lakers, Knicks, Clippers, and more. Score big on tickets and cheer on the Beam team as they make a push for the playoffs. Don't miss out. This limited time offer is only valid until February 20th. Visit kings.com/no fees to take advantage of this deal today.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sell-a-thon, get 0 down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at folsomlakeford.com.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Our thanks to Brodie Brazil for joining us. Brodie really does an excellent job of breaking down this very confusing situation. And I know I said it twice when we spoke to him, but if you're interested in this at all and you haven't done so, I definitely recommend his videos at NBC Sports Bay Area. Does a great job of breaking down this is what's going on, and this is why we didn't think this was going to happen, and this is what could happen. And today we're dealing with the fact that what could happen is the Oakland A's very well may spend 3 years in Sacramento. I'm having a hard time believing it, even as I'm saying it, Jay.
I know. And it's the more you try to convince yourself that it may happen, it may not happen. And then you also throw in the crux also too, legend of the fact that you're taking, you didn't hear me correctly there over there?
A bad headphones.
Oh, okay, legend. The other part of it is it's so close yet so far.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I kind of took from Brodie is, like, I'm not rooting for the Giants. Albeit they're 40 miles to 20 miles, whatever you want to call it at this point. It's not 40 miles, but 20 miles, from whatever ballpark to ballpark. I would never do it. I can't do it. Not rooting for the Giants. And even if the A's, go to Anchorage, Alaska, I'm not rooting for the Giants. And so it's so interesting because to Sacramento, that is our closest, that's the closest you can be part of a fan base.
Mm-hmm.
And now for them to leave and even throw in the crux that they're here, they could be here,
mm-hmm.
right here.
Yeah. And you just alluded to one of the things that I can't quite understand. I think I'm just going to have to resign myself to the notion that the people that run baseball right now don't really care about baseball that much. But as you said, Rob Manfred yesterday is telling the media, hey, Oakland won't have a team. Well, it's not like Bay Area won't have a team. They have the Giants, suggesting that A's fans should root for the Giants. And, anyone who's a baseball fan knows that it just doesn't work that way, especially in the two-team markets.
Come on.
Tell a Mets fan, well, just root for the Yankees then. And as Brodie said, sure, there are some of those split cat people. Maybe not my favorite people in the world, but okay, I get it. A's, Giants, but there are a lot like Jay, like myself, who are really not. So how can baseball do this? This looks so bad. In addition to that, the whole thing looks so bad for everybody, right? The way it's drawn out, the plans are not really finished. How could they be proceeding with this? Doesn't baseball care about the way the fans are being dragged through all this? And I guess they really don't, Jay. It's such a bad look for baseball at a time when, baseball's popularity could use a big boost. And yet baseball's, the way they're handling all this and looking so bad, they don't care. And that's astonishing to me.
Yeah, it's something that I had to, like you said, I had to come to grips and have to remove myself from the love of the sport that I've had and defending it for so long. And, I'm not a Manfred guy. I'm far from, just not even close to, being a fan or supporting just about anything he has done since he's been in office. And it's not a one-man show. It's not all him. He is the face. Like, one of the stories I always tell people all the time, especially, and we've all been in a situation where you are a customer of a company, and something happens wrong with that company where they overcharge you or your service is not going correctly, and you have to get on the phone and call customer service. And one of the things I always try to tell myself, and I've said this to customer service reps, is listen, it's not a personal thing. I'm frustrated in the fact that the company that you chose to represent now, you're on the front line. Unfortunately, you're going to get the eye of my anger. And I please, understand where I'm coming from. It's not a personal situation. And so Rob Manfred is the service rep. He is that person for baseball, as Brodie alluded to, for the owners. And when you really get down to it, I just can't support anything he's done. Like, he hasn't done anything for me to even be happy. He hasn't done anything for me to even pat him on the back. He hasn't done anything for me to give him a thumbs up. He hasn't done anything for me to even support what he's doing with my favorite organization.
The customer is always right, correct? I mean, that's an old business principle.
I don't necessarily agree with that all the time, Whitey, but I understand that. I get it.
It's a nice approach.
Yes.
And Manfred, not only is Major League Baseball saying the customer is wrong, baseball is saying it's the customer's fault.
Yes.
People they haven't been coming to the games. So not only is baseball saying, you guys are wrong, it's baseball saying it's your fault, trying to blame Oakland fans. So that's one reason why I think there has been some support from other cities. We've seen, at the All-Star game, fans in other cities supporting Oakland,
yes.
As the A's have traveled.
This past year in Seattle.
Fans realize, this isn't really our problem, but if baseball's doing it to them, they could do it to us.
Mm-hmm.
We have to give them our support. So it's just, even the Maloofs, for a while, their motto was the customer's always right. And towards the end, they were losing money and things kind of went sideways.
Yeah.
But even the Maloofs were proponents of that. And Rob Manfred is just, it's the customer's fault. And that's just such horrible business. It's mind-boggling.
It is. And to also double down on that is when you have an owner who's kind of not saying that, because we haven't heard him say anything, as we alluded to with Brodie Brazil, but you're not even coming out. At least Brodie spoke about the Royals owner coming out and having a conversation and saying, listen, we want to be here. And we saw this last year when Rob Manfred was making his rounds. And remember, he went to Milwaukee and he got in front of reporters in a scrum and said, like, he threatened Milwaukee almost and said, listen, if you guys don't get in front of this as a city, you guys could end up what you're saying happening in Oakland with the Athletics. That's crazy.
It is. It's
for you to
really
jump
dumb.
out there and do that when Milwaukee just barely had their ballpark, feel like just built. And then on top of that, to double down, and this is something I've always had a problem with. I don't know Dave Cavill at all. Dave Cavill is a friend of this station. He comes on the morning show quite a bit. He's been on shows that I've produced and hosted. He was a step and fetch it, man. Like, John Fisher put him out there, and it was the Ringling Circus. Go ahead. You're the grandmaster. You're going to manipulate everything. And Dave has now kind of put himself out there as being a bulletproof vest for what's going on. And when you're dealing with guys like that, and albeit I know it's for a lot of money, I just can't mess with you, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not down for the cause.
I'm starting to think, Jay, that it's possible the A's were never really rooted in Oakland.
Rooted in Oakland? Nah.
Yeah, I think, and I don't know if that was Dave Cavill, but that came out. I think he was running things. And for a while, people were responding. They had those season passes that were really popular. Where they have like a treehouse area in Oakland.
Treehouse.
And A's fans like, this is great. And then next thing you know, a few years later, it's like, well, we're going to Vegas. So thanks for everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have a feeling, it's funny because when the Kings almost moved to Seattle, famously Woj said, the ball's on the 1 yard line. And people around here have never let him forget that.
No.
But this thing right now it's on the 2 yard line, but going the other way, right? There's a long ways to go. right?
Yes.
There's so
they
many
got pinned down with the punt.
Yeah, exactly. Coffin corner.
And guess what? We're now in the mix, and that's the emotions, the feelings, the things that it's like, oh, we're on the tour. And you know what? Coach has called us in now, and now we're the running back.
Yep.
They took the star out,
Yeah.
you know, the starter. We meaning Sacramento has an opportunity to change, you know, the direction of where the Oakland A's go.
Well, speaking of football, no football to watch this weekend. So we've got a solution for you. Stick with us. We're going to help you through this no football weekend. Drive Guys, Jay and Whitey, Sactown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match the Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay cloudy tonight, but it'll be dry. Overnight lows will stay around 50. During the day tomorrow, the morning looks dry. We'll get some rain for the afternoon and evening. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA3 app.
Welcome to a brand new year filled with limitless possibilities at Kia of Vacaville. Prepare yourself for an extraordinary driving adventure as we present our impressive 2024 vehicle lineup. Step into the future with state-of-the-art technology, groundbreaking features, and the sleek design that has become synonymous with Kia. Immerse yourself in the dynamic performance of the all-new Kia Sportage, where captivating design meets exhilarating power. Experience the fuel efficiency of the Kia Niro, a hybrid marvel that extends your journey with every mile. Indulge in the sophistication of the Kia Telluride, seamlessly blending luxury and versatility. Don't overlook our eco-friendly Kia hybrid options, ideal for those who prioritize efficiency without sacrificing style. If you're in search of the EV9, Kia of Vacaville has it in stock or available for delivery. Visit Kia of Vacaville today and cruise into 2024 with confidence and style. Kia of Vacaville, where innovation meets the road. Elevate your drive, elevate your year. Model availability and features may vary. Please see the dealership for details.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online. Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Hey, the NBA Celebrity All-Star Game is underway. They're playing on that glass LED court, and there are no words to describe how much I hate it. It's really ugly, and just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. I think it's hideous. If other people like it, fine. Maybe it'll be the future, and if I'm in the minority, okay, it's basketball, I'll watch it, but it is just ridiculous. The colors of the court, the painted area and the three-point area, and they're changing during the game, and you've got slogans popping up, and there's a big clock, the running clock there on the court. I mean, huge numbers showing you how much time is left in the quarter. We just don't need it. Stop it. Please. I mean, the in-season tournament courts, some of them were kind of interesting. I think by and large, they were a massive failure, and this is worse. So take my word for it. I would think some people, you got to be careful watching that. You could have seizures. Let me know what you think, Jay. I haven't seen it yet. Other people may like it. Okay, I'm just telling you my opinion of it. My opinion of it is it's horrendous. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Now, we've been talking about a potential A's temporary move to Sacramento. Ramsey has been hanging on. Ramsey, you're on with Jay and Whitey. Thanks for hanging. What's up?
I'm honestly torn, gentlemen. I don't know what to do. I mean, Jay and I talk. I'm an A's fan myself. I have more personal ties, not just to the A's, but to the Earthquakes as well.
Sure.
I've been employed and are currently employed by one of the two franchises and in many years. And in all my time of working for, whether it be the A's or the Earthquakes, literally, I've only seen John Fisher in person, in the flesh, one time, and that was literally for a split second.
Mm-hmm.
So for us to be surprised, spoken,
mm-hmm.
or put himself to the forefront of this and gave his opinion, shouldn't be a shock whatsoever. And the other thing that Jay fit into, Dave Cavill, same thing. He has been the fall guy for John Fisher, not just since he has been with the A's. He was employed by the Earthquakes before he went to Oakland, same franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So Dave Cavill's basically been John Fisher's fall guy or front man for 10 plus years now.
Uh-huh.
And basically saying whatever John Fisher wants him to stay or market John Fisher in some form of light, in whatever light he wants to mark whatever John Fisher wants to be marketed in.
Gotcha.
Ramsey, real quick, let me ask you a question, because me and Whitey are definitely torn, and you started your conversation, or excuse me, your statement is saying you were torn. Mm-hmm. Is it the fact that if they were to come to Sacramento, and you being an A's fan, and Sacramento being your hometown, and like what are you torn about?
I'm torn because I do want Sacramento to have the possibility of having another major league franchise and getting that opportunity to show themselves if the A's were to get here. But I'm torn knowing that they could leave. You'd be tearing something out of Oakland. And I'd also need something in writing from, and I'm being nice, that subpar commissioner, Major League Baseball, saying that if we do this, I need something in writing saying either the A's are going to stay in Sacramento or that Sacramento's going to be the first team to get a Major League Baseball expansion team for doing this for you.
And
I need it in writing. I don't need a handshake, because we see what these handshake deals turn into.
Yeah, you know what, Ramsey, that's an interesting point, but I don't think we're getting that. I don't even think they were asking for that. And I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but given that I think Sacramento just so much wants baseball here, I don't think they're even asking for that.
I would need like I said again. I understand where you're coming from, Kevin, but I need something.
Yeah, I hear you.
I would need some form of guarantee.
Yeah,
because I don't want Sacramento to put itself out there for 2 or 3 years, and then they move or just yank it, and we don't get a shot or we don't get anything back in return for doing this huge favor to Major League Baseball.
Gotcha. Thank you, Ramsey. You call anytime, okay? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate your insight.
Man.
Yeah. On the chat. I hadn't thought of that. I hadn't thought of Sacramento asking for anything. And it's an interesting thought and understand where Ramsey's coming from. But, I don't know that Sacramento is in position to do that. I think Sacramento's.
Well, if you need a little bit of help, I get what you're saying, and I get what Ramsey's saying, and a businessman, would come to the table and say, if I am scratching your back and giving you a favor, something down the road would need to come my way.
I guess you can always introduce that.
I like that.
If nothing has been agreed upon yet, you can always come back. Hey, we can continue to talk, but we're going to need a few things.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. All right. We'll be right back. As I mentioned, we're helping fans through this non-football weekend, and more thoughts here on the chat from A's fans on where this all went wrong and how the commissioner and Fisher are to blame. Next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
What's up? Talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Chrysler's President's Day sale?
Huge savings on our remaining 2023 Rams as we make room for the hundreds of 2024s arriving daily. This month you can save up to $15,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s. And you won't find a better selection of new Ram trucks in Northern California with over 500 Rams available.
Well, that sounds like a good deal, but why drive all the way to Hoblet, Chad?
For 4 generations, we prided ourselves on being the small town dealer with big city selection and savings. When you buy from Hoblet, you're family, which is why so many of our customers come back and buy from us time after time.
Come to Hoblet and see what it's like to be treated like family at California's #1 Ram truck dealer. See their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
15,000 total net savings after 74.88 factory rebates and 75.12 dealer discount. Rebates may include 1,000 case construction bonus cash. Must have purchased eligible new case equipment to qualify and 500 first responder bonus cash. Must be carrying member of eligible first responder association. 5 with net savings. Symbol VIN 7000008.
Hello, I'm Frank Outward, Retirement Security Centers with the weekly economic update. Are consumers finally tightening their wallets? Retail sales fell 0.2% from 1 year ago due to a pivot to online purchases, highlighted by the 7% drop in department store sales. January retail sales fell 0.8% for the month. While durable goods at stores decreased, there were increases in online and restaurant spending, with jobless claims falling as a sign of a still robust jobs market. Claims older than a week rose to 1.895 million, showing that some may not be getting rehired right away, with a rush of layoffs in technology and media being the drivers of this number. This could help the Federal Reserve see their inflation fight sticking its soft landing. Another potential soft landing on the moon could come as soon as February 22nd. The 1M1 is attempting to be the first private company landing on the surface of the moon. Others have attempted as much in recent months, but as these are private endeavors at this time, they aren't sharing their data, which could lead to the success of other flights in the future. How might those affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer member SIPC and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sell-a-thon, get 0 down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at folsomlakeford.com.
At the UPS Store, we know this upcoming holiday is when things can get busy for small business owners.
Exactly. My to-do list and I don't take days off.
That's why you can count on us to be open and ready to help with every small business need, whether it's packing and shipping or if it's just to check your mailbox.
That's almost everything on my to-do list. My list and I can take the day off.
Your local, the everything to help you be unstoppable store. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. The UPS Store locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours may vary. See Center for details.
Get ready. This week, Staples has deals so good, you're going to want to sit down. Are you sitting? I'll wait. Great. Right now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs. That's up to $180 off desk chairs, up to $180 off computer chairs, and up to $180 off gaming chairs. So hurry into Staples now for the Staples Sit-a-thon and grab a seat or two. Ends 3/2. In-store only. See associate for details.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Jay and I taking you into your weekend. Hope you have big weekend plans. Any weekend plans you got, Jay, that you are willing to share with us?
Yeah, tonight I'm gonna go check out my one of my brothers, and I say that I'm the only child, but he's one of my brothers, one of my great friends. He coaches Christian Brothers High School, the boys basketball, and so they're in the second round of the playoffs. They're playing at Placer tonight, so I'm gonna go check that out. Tomorrow I'm gonna go with the wife and check out the new Bob Marley movie. One Love, yeah. So we'll take a dip on out that way, and just living, sir. Yourself, anything fantastic?
We're going to Point Reyes for the weekend.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, the weather's supposed to be inclement, but not for the whole time.
That's right.
By the way, I think I told you the story before, but I don't think I said it on the air. When I was in the 9th grade, I was playing Vallejo Junior High, and we're playing Christian Brothers, and we're playing in a Woodland tournament. And I thought, Christian Brothers. They're all Christian. It must be a Christian school.
Yeah.
And we're playing, and this guy scores a layup, and we're going down the floor. And I said, hey, nice shot. And he goes, hey, F you, buddy. And I was like, what? Well, I thought it says Christian Brothers on
Hey,
it.
you better recognize this. It's CB, but it's in the hood, man.
All right, I get it. My mistake.
Yeah. Well, can't judge a book by its cover. You got taught a very good lesson right then and there.
You could have just not said anything.
That's
right?
true. That's true.
I wasn't like I was making. Maybe he thought I was making fun of him.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe that was his first bucket of the game, and you had him locked up. Man, are you now? I mean, and I don't mean to be in your business, so you don't have to tell us. Are you Airbnb? Are you hoteling? Are you?
No, we're staying at it.
Friends. Okay,
yeah.
all right.
And it's not that I don't want to tell you. I can't remember.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, my wife made the.
I wouldn't want. Well, I got you.
I wouldn't tell you anyway.
Yes, I wouldn't want anybody be hanging out looking for autographs or anything.
Right.
TMZ you.
Looking forward to that. So hope you have whatever your plans are. Hope you're planning fun / relaxing / great weekend without football, which we'll get to. We're still figuring out where we should be with the A's, and the news today that Sacramento is the front runner. I've seen it in some corners. Sacramento is a front runner. My understanding is Sacramento is the front runner, at least is considered such by the Athletic, to land the A's on a temporary basis. So we've been trying to figure out this whole mess. What does it mean for us? What does it mean for Sacramento? Derek Vercelli says, you can say it's a customer's fault for not showing up to games, but the reason why we didn't show up to games is because the way the team is being run and the decisions that are being made for moving. And I think that's a great point, Derek, because in my opinion, for years, A's ownership has been trying to drive people away. Some of it has been subtle, some of it not so much. So that at one point they could go, well, no one's coming, so we're going to have to leave. And I think when it finally got to that point, it was actually when negotiations broke down with Oakland. Everyone said, well, you can't say that.
Yeah.
To your point there, you can't say that. There are very good reasons why we weren't coming. But there's also a notion, Jay, that the A's really did, that Fisher wanted to stay in the Bay Area and was hoping to get a deal. And when COVID hit, it hit him in such a way that he had to do something sooner rather than later. And then he had to set his sights elsewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, well, one thing I do know is this, that for years, and you can speak to this better than I can, being around the game and being blessed to be here longer than I have so far, Oakland A's fans came out in droves. It was the place to be at one point in time. And the other part of that, too, that goes along with that is being, and this is something what Derek is saying is, you know how many times we clamored to get a free agent? You know how many times we clamored, and this even goes back further than John Fisher, but how many times we've clamored to keep our own stars, our own homegrown guys, and Mr. Fisher and other owners, prior Lou Wolf, and all these guys prior to that did not sign that. We've never had $100 million guy for Oakland A's, So with John Fisher and the group and the ownership group, trying to say like, look at us. We've done everything. We've put things out. No, you haven't. You really haven't. You haven't put the best product out. And albeit there's a reason why a lot of people respect Billy Beane, because he's done a lot more with a lot less. Mm-hmm. And if you enabled him to sign, big name players and big deals, no doubt people would be coming. No doubt they would be coming.
They did in, as you know, the late 80s, 90s.
Yes.
Tony La Russa's
Come on.
3 straight pennants, and that place was hot.
It was rocking.
Yeah.
Super rocking.
Mm-hmm.
And so
it was a great team, too.
Absolutely. And the A's have had.
Still should have won more than one World
I
Series.
agree. And don't start there. But why do you? I mean, we're
still
already.
Bothers me.
I get
How
it.
did that team win one World Series?
I know.
How'd they lose to the Dodgers?
Tell me about it.
We
Come
were
on.
like 4 years older.
Yeah, but
still.
Come on, Eckersley.
Yeah.
Why would you put that little weak slide piece up the middle to a hobbled guy?
The one thing he can hit.
Yes, I know, man. I'm with you. And then don't get me wrong get me started on Chris Sable on the Reds, but I think that the A's ownership group has done everything wrong. It looks that way, and it's not. It's tough to say that because I don't know. But the optics of what have they done right? There's very few things that sit in that bucket, Whitey. Mm-hmm. Everything is more or less like. What bothers me too is how they've pulled the wool over baseball for so long about needing league revenue sharing.
Oh, yeah.
You don't need that in Oakland. You don't need that in Oakland.
Well, they figured out the formula.
I
Put a
get
bad
it.
team, spend a little money.
Yes.
Bad team, no one comes. Hey, you owe us money.
Small market. We're a small market. No, you're not.
I think that's one reason why the owners have said, let's just get it out of
Get
there.
out of there. Yeah.
Get them out of there. I will say they have needed Oakland, no matter who's owning them, they've needed a new stadium. That stadium is
very true.
It's like, we all have memories if you've been going there since you were a kid, but compare that to other ballparks.
Yeah.
It's like that's substandard.
Very true. Very
and
true.
that's being very, very polite.
Yes.
To say substandard.
That's one of the things I can absolutely attest to is, the city of Oakland has definitely failed the ball club when it's come to, creating, and even when you have the Raiders there, it's like, we all can't get along. And I'm not counting people's pockets, but you guys have money.
Hey, they built
Figure
Mount
it out.
Davis, which actually made everything worse.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. You should have seen, you're probably too young to remember this, maybe not, but before Mount Davis, you had an ice plant out there, and then you could see the Oakland Hills.
Of course.
Center field.
I mean, I'm too young. I mean, I've done my research now. I don't really remember it as a child. A little bit, going to a game or two, but yeah, of course.
Yeah. So it's not over. It's far from over what role Sacramento's going to play. We'll see. What role should we want Sacramento to play? I think if there's a consensus based on what we're hearing from people and seeing from people, most fans would be like, this would be great. It'd be a chance for Sacramento to showcase itself, and we would have Major League Baseball here for a few years.
I like what Ramsey said, though. I think you kind of got to get something on paper, and who knows what paper means when it comes to ownership, when it comes to John Fisher, when it comes to Rob Manfred, but something of, look, we scratch your back, scratch our back.
Yeah.
I would like that.
What do you need? Let's just spitball.
For me, it would be an expansion team.
See, we're not going to get that.
It would be an expansion
Especially because baseball can say, look, we don't know how this is going to go. You know?
True.
Maybe I don't know. I was going to say if you put in some sort
there might be
clause, like if we draw this many, but
sure.
That gets pretty tricky.
The other part of it too is, and I know most people mind jump straight to money. It's like, oh, I need this amount of money. I think the other part of that too would be assistance in, the infrastructure of what the city may need, which is hotels. Really, a lot of what the city needs is hotels and, more big business, and on the hook of some form of, and a league can't help out another league. I don't think that really works, but something, of the form of like, look, MLS, if you were able to take a part of that. Yeah, like, like we have something in writing from baseball that says they're going to put, another infrastructure, another piece of infrastructure into the city. And it's kind of guaranteed, and you can trust the league, the money's there, and they're going to build another 200 hotels. It's got to be something like that moves the needle forward when it comes to sports.
The question is, I think Sacramento got to this point where right now we're considered a front runner by being very proactive and going out there. Hey, look, how about us? How about us? How about us? So obviously you lose some leverage when you're doing that. But now you're to the point where now it's a question of, all right, well, how much do the A's need Sacramento?
Right.
If Sacramento's emerging as the leading candidate, then maybe Sacramento does have a little bit of leverage. But the main thing has just been, hey, what about us? What about us? And I think city officials have to be delighted that we're even talking about them coming here for a few years, aside from any, contingencies. Yeah. All right. When we come back, we're going to help you through this tough football weekend. And here's the thing. You can help us help you, and we can all help each other. We do have Seth Everett. I'm sorry. I apologize. We have Seth Everett. And give me the info on Seth Everett, please, Jay.
Well, he's a let me say this. As a friend, Seth has been intertwined into MLB as long as I've just about been alive, and he may take that the wrong way because he's not that old. But he hosts the Sports with Friends and Hall of Justice, of course, podcast, iHeartMedia. But Seth is as close to someone as in with baseball that I trust that I've ever been around. He's worked for the league. He's been around for Seattle, of course, Colorado. He's been a lot of places. He's been intertwined with MLB. And he's just very knowledgeable when it comes to baseball. And he's someone, as I said, he's someone that I truly trust, and I value opinion when it comes to the game I love.
Yeah, what this all means for Sacramento going forward with Seth Everett next year. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Are you ready for the deal of a lifetime? This week only during the President's Week sale, get ready to rev up your savings at Elk Grove Kia and elkgrovekia.com. The doors swing wide open every day at 9 a.m., and we're unleashing the biggest selection of pre-owned and brand new vehicles you've ever seen. With so many options to choose from, you're sure to find the car of your dreams. But hold on to your seats, because here's the best part. Our prices are slashed to the bone, and they're so incredible that we can't broadcast them. You have to come down and see for yourself. Don't wait. This is a 1 week only event. And to make it even better, you can drive away with your dream car right on the spot. No waiting, no hassle. Just instant delivery right on site. Remember, the President's Week sale happens this week only at Elk Grove Kia and elkgrovekia.com. Doors open at 9 a.m. sharp. Elk Grove Kia, where the biggest savings and the hottest wheels await during the President's Week sale, only at Elk Grove Kia.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And Logan Ryan picks him up. Looks like they're playing man. Laporta's over there as well. It's 5 out. It's empty on 4th down. Goff back. Not going to get out to his right. Being chased. Throws, and it is incomplete. The 49ers take over on 4th down again.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories. The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Purple beam, purple beam. It's the Drive Guys here. We're still digesting the news today that Sacramento has emerged as a frontrunner to land the A's on a temporary basis. Helping us digest that, nice enough to join us, MLB Insider, host of the Sports with Friends podcast, Seth Everett. Seth, thank you so much for your time. I know this saga of the A's relocation, a lot of twists, a lot of turns. What do you make of today's news from The Athletic that Sacramento is considered the frontrunner to be that temporary spot between Oakland and Vegas?
Well, thank you for having me on. I wonder how many times Jay tried other people before me.
That'd be 0.
Yeah, you were like, we had somebody lined up already, and then I believe you were the first name you mentioned.
I bumped somebody? Nice.
Yeah.
I'll take that. I've been covering this relocation story for the A's back when there was contraction in 2002. I was working for the league back then, and I thought the Twins and the Expos were going to disappear. And with less teams, I thought the league would be in better shape. The A's saga has been an eyesore for baseball. But I have 2 questions because I don't live out there and I'm a cord cutter.
Sure.
So for me, everything's an app. I don't know what channel games are on. NBC Sports Bay Area and NBC Sports California, do they both air the A's?
No, the A's are on NBC Sports California, which is kind of a secondary outlet. NBC Sports Bay Area has the Giants, so that's why.
But NBC Sports California can still be seen in Sacramento and Oakland.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So the key to the whole deal, and the reason Sacramento is the favorite, is they get out of the Coliseum, whatever. I was going to call it a disgusting plumbing situation.
Well, Sal Bando used to call it the Oakland Mausoleum, so I think sometimes
it's gross there. Why is the floor always wet? I never understood that. But that building, they get out of that building, but stay on NBC Sports California. That's my point.
Yeah.
So the key there is that they would still get their TV money. So it's almost a foregone conclusion, because if they move to Salt Lake, even for 2 years, they'd have to leave NBC Sports California, and thus they would lose all their television revenue. RSNs are in crisis mode right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I've done, I did a podcast last week about the state of sports media, and the idea that the A's could still recoup some of that TV money and get a temporary home is great. I was listening to you guys beforehand when you're talking about what's in it for Sacramento. If you're talking about a dying franchise from a sport that I don't think is thriving by any stretch of the imagination, coming here, is that going to impact tourism? Is that going to impact the ability to generate revenue organically? Will people travel to go see them? Those questions, if they're answered, then it can be a positive. But I don't think this showcases the city in a positive enough light, nor would I want. I also heard you guys mention, well, if it was going to be a long-term franchise, I'd want an expansion team. Let the A's move to Vegas, and then let's bring a team back to Sacramento. Baseball's in no position to expand. They're losing fans left and right. And right now, I'm turning 50 in 2 weeks, by the way.
Congrats.
Yeah, I'm expecting a card.
Of course. I mean, say no more.
It's
in the Oakland A's hat.
There you go.
Sacramento A's hat.
Yeah, jersey.
but the thing that you have to recognize with regard to, that franchise and what that sport is. So if I'm turning 50, I grew up with baseball. I grew up loving baseball. Baseball was my career for 25 years. When I'm 75, the kid that's 25 now, when he's turning 50, he won't care about this sport the way you or I do.
Right.
And so it's kind of like FM radio and cable television. Like there's this idea everybody wants to pronounce them dead and buried. They're not dying yet, but they're not thriving. And so to bring a franchise in for 2 years, if it has a benefit, it's a positive. But a long-term solution to bring the brand of Sacramento, California to a higher plane, baseball's not involved.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Seth, I have a long drawn out question when it comes to, or I should say a long range question. I'll hold that off because at the end of this, I want to kind of get your thoughts on where this does go. But can
I read your mind? You're saying Vegas doesn't want him anyway. So come to Sacramento. Things will be so swimming here. It'll be wonderful. And then they'll squash the Vegas deal. That's where I know your brain's going.
Well, yeah. And at the same time, let's just get rid of Vegas altogether and let's play ball here in Northern California, albeit it's San Jose, Fremont, Newark, Union City, Sacramento, something of that sorts. And you've been around, as you said, you've worked for the league. You've been around baseball. You're in the end. You have these conversations. And I think I told this to Whitey is you love baseball. And I don't want to put words in your mouth. Please correct me. You're not a Manfred guy, but you love baseball so much that you respect it. Am I correct on that?
Well, Rob and I have history.
Right.
And, when he was a lawyer for MLB, if I thought for a second he would have become commissioner, I'd have been so much nicer to him. And then a good friend of mine, and I'll plug a book real quick. It's not a book I wrote, but a guy by the name of Eddie Dominguez, a former MLB investigator who was let go by the sport when he got a little too close, wrote a book called Baseball Cop. And I put him on Sports with Friends to talk about his time as an investigator. And I had it corroborated with two of the great investigative journalists all along, but Christian Redd and Terry Thompson, two extraordinary reporters. And I put all three of them on Sports with Friends, and Rob Manfred heard it. And when I reached out to baseball about a credential or something I needed for something, and they were saying, "Oh, Rob was looking to talk to you." And I said, "Oh, okay. Well, his office is in New York. I live in New Jersey. I'll come. I'll bring my microphone. We'll do a podcast. I'll have Rob Manfred on Sports with Friends."
Good luck.
And they said, "No, he heard your last podcast." So all I say to Rob Manfred is, thank you for listening. Please rate and review, because that's how iTunes markets podcasts.
Very nice. Very nice. Seth Everett.
If I'm a Manfred guy. Manfred's saying he's leaving in 2029. I guarantee you anyone who replaces him is an upgrade.
Okay. Why do you think Rob Manfred and the owners don't seem to care about the optics of this whole mess, from the fact that they downgraded, they kind of burned down the A's product and then blame the fans. So you don't come, and fans are like, well, of course we didn't come. It was terrible. To the Las Vegas ballpark renderings are ridiculous, and they keep having to change them. And it looks terrible. Baseball doesn't seem to care. Why is that?
Well, I did a podcast over the summer, this past summer, with Mark Mulder. We talked about this exact subject. And back then, and this is when I worked for the league, the A's were charming. They were very charming. They had no payroll, but neither did the Twins, neither did the Marlins, neither did Tampa. It was charming. And it was, look what they could do.
Moneyball. Yeah.
Moneyball, which is a great book, an awful movie.
Yes.
We're all great book, terrible movie. But this idea that now, I said the word eyesore when I first came on your show. Like, the A's are not a charming thing anymore.
No,
it's not appealing. And, when I love the area, I've been there so many times. I have so many dear friends, both in San Francisco and you guys, of course. I want what's good for the area. And I was, what I used to say was, get the ownership of the A's. Back then it was Lou Wolf. And I used to say, lock them in a room with the San Francisco Giants people. And don't let them come out until they come up with an arrangement. Because Bud, when I worked for baseball, Bud was my boss. And Bud Selig locked the Angeloses in a room with the people that were buying the Expos to move them to Washington, to the Nationals. And I don't know, this is not a big story out, especially out in your guys' neck of the woods, but the revenue that the Nationals made on television went to the Orioles.
Wow.
And that was an arrangement. And that was the only way the Orioles would sign off on the Expos coming in and invading their territory.
Right.
And everybody has a price. And so what I used to say was the way to fix this, you mentioned Fremont, Jay. That was gorgeous. That was stunning. I saw the pictures of that.
Yeah.
That was absolutely gorgeous. That's where they should have gone. And the reason they didn't was the Giants.
That's right.
And all I say is, what's their price? And that's where I don't have faith that Manfred found that out.
Gotcha.
You know, this is something that I've said on these airways quite a bit, and I sound like a Giants hater. But
aren't you?
Well, yeah, I am.
Okay.
I mean, look, I'm not opposed to saying that, but it's a breakdown because I don't think everyone knows. You know, like when you sit down and look at the map of territory when it comes to the A's versus the Giants, like the Giants have everything. When you sit down and look at,
because the A's gave it to them.
Yeah, I know, and that's the thing. They're not scratching their back, you know, backwards. I should say they're not reciprocating the love that they gave them to get the Giants to stay in San Francisco. But speak to that saga because you were a part of that situation, and you know, enlighten some of our Giants and A's fans of how that actually kind of came about.
Well, it was actually before my time. Before my time on this earth, because what took place when the Brooklyn Dodgers wanted to move to LA, they needed a dance partner. And baseball had to come up with incentives for the New York Giants to follow the Dodgers out west. And at that point, don't forget, the A's were either, if my timeline's right, they were either in Philadelphia or Kansas City. And so the Giants took the territory. You know, the Giants were the pioneers, so to speak, in a sports landscape. And baseball went out of their way to subsidize the Giants because they needed a dance partner for the Dodgers. The Dodgers couldn't have every road trip, especially, you know, with air travel as minimal as it was back then. They couldn't have the Dodgers traveling across country for every road trip. They needed someplace else to go. And that's where this started. My only argument was the Baltimore Orioles existed for like half a century after the Washington Senators left. So if you could sit there with a stubborn, you know, I'm not going to use a curse word on this because we're not doing a podcast now, but just Angelos is an absolute clown. And you convinced him to do a TV deal to let the Nationals exist. How did baseball fail? And when Manfred took over, this was way before I did that podcast, before I even had a podcast. Rob Manfred, when he took over, said to me face to face, my number one priority is not pace of play. It's not fixing the game. It's not the media rights. It's fixing Tampa and Oakland. And the difference was at the time, Tampa had like 16 years left on their lease. Now, I think they have 2. And by the way, please like, rate, review. That's how podcasts get made.
Gotcha. Seth, we appreciate your insight very much, especially here it is, you know, Friday, a holiday, and I'm sure you're making your holiday plan. So thank you
for what I'm doing.
Please.
I'm going to MetLife Stadium tomorrow night for the outdoor hockey game between the New Jersey Devils and the Philadelphia Flyers.
Look at you.
It's going to be 28 degrees and windy in that football stadium. I've seen a Super Bowl there. I've seen dozens of Jets and Giants games now, and now I'm going to see hockey. My beloved Devils are going to take on the Flyers, and we are going to freeze our tushies off.
Living large. Early birthday present. Thank you, Seth. Enjoy it. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
See you guys.
Okay. Some interesting historic background on this whole mess. And we'll continue to unravel the A's saga. Sacramento. Now, does Sacramento, should we even want the A's? Next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Skies will stay cloudy tonight, but it'll be dry. Overnight lows will stay around 50. During the day tomorrow, the morning looks dry. We'll get some rain for the afternoon and evening. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA 3 app.
Doug Christie here. It's Folsom Lake Kia's President's Day sales event. Save on new 2024 Kias with low payments, low finance rates, and zero down deals on approval of credit. Shop Folsom Lake Kia in the Folsom Auto Mall.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. CordellCordell.com.
Hey, Joe Montana here. Back in my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia, a bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older or 19 or older with certain chronic conditions like diabetes or asthma, you're at increased risk. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
You're faced with a long shot in the heavy rough. Now what? Jessica Marksberry writes in Golf Magazine that while hybrids have made these shots a bit easier to deal with, lengthy shots from heavy rough are still a significant challenge. Top 100 teacher Tina Toombs says the first thing you need is loft and a specific mindset over the ball. You need to hold onto the club firmer with your left hand to prevent the club from grabbing the grass. You can elect to play in the back of your stance or play it forward. Now, playing it forward makes the swing a bit steeper so it can stay open more and the ball comes out of the rough better. She says a 7-wood makes it easier than a hybrid for longer shots. The ball comes out low, but rolls a long way because of topspin. And if all else fails, she says bailing out is an option too, and there's no shame in taking your medicine to avoid compounding your initial error. If you're really not sure, take your 9-iron and get it out. Don't risk topping it and leaving it in the rough. Good luck out there. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sell-a-thon, get zero down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Thank you, Jay, for lining up Seth Everett, who was popular with our YouTube viewers. Brian Knutson says, you need that guy on more. I thought him very entertaining. And Megadeth Knight says, and he uses family-friendly terminology. So, you know, the whole thing about the A's, we're talking a lot about the A's today because of the news that Sacramento is a front runner now to land them as a temporary home. And the A's were dominant, you know, in the 90s, and the Giants were in the 80s.
Getting slapped around.
Yeah. And they almost left.
Yep.
They almost went to St. Petersburg, which, by the way, is how Tampa Bay ended up with an expansion team, to the point Brodie Brazil made earlier. But my understanding is, long story short, that the A's, the Haas family, they gave the Giants the South Bay territories and just like gave it to them, like, well, you know, we want both teams in the Bay Area. Let's just give them that. And then the Giants are like, well, we're not giving that back. When the A's wanted to move to San Jose, remember that? The Giants said, we're not giving that back.
Yeah. If you sit down and look at the map,
yeah,
it was, I guess, and I said this is, you know, to keep the Giants here in the Bay Area.
It was a kind of a goodwill gesture. Which now that there's no place for that in sports.
And the Giants are not giving that back. They're like, Fremont, please, we're not giving you that. San Jose, not a shot.
Yeah.
Sacramento, no way. Not a shot. Like, how Sacramento is the Giants' territory. When you look at the map, Sacramento is cut into the Giants' territory when it comes to the MLB map.
Ooh, I didn't know that. I wonder if that's going to be an issue.
Well, it won't be now because, I mean, technically, I think it's transitional because the A's would be transitional. They would, factor into it. But the other part of that, too, is, and, we've seen it here, like being the new home of the San Francisco 49ers compared to, who holds the game in the Bay Area. I'm pretty sure, and this is way above my pay grade. This is just my opinion. I don't know any of these facts, but I'm pretty sure a conversation was had to be like, listen, if you guys are going towards Sacramento, we have, and not to get technical, we have geographs in radio. Like, look, you have to turn down that signal to a certain extent, and we want the 49ers to be heard if you're over this way when it comes to the Bay. And it's just so interesting how the A's have kind of dug themselves into a hole.
Well, to Seth's point, Seth was saying, someone needed to find the point at which the Giants would agree to all this, to let the A's share the territory. And I don't know that there was such a point. He said, everyone has their price.
Sure.
Yeah. And I was at the A's flagship when some of that was going on with Commissioner put together the blue ribbon panel to solve this. And I remember talking to Lou Wolf and about, well, can you guys figure out something with the Giants? Kind of like the Angeloses did with Washington Nationals. And I don't think the Giants were going to play ball. I don't think there was any way. I don't think there was a price where the Giants would have said, yep, that's it. Okay, we'll do it.
Yeah, I think the league.
They were interested.
Yeah, I think the league would have had to come down and put their thumb down on it. And I think that's what Seth was saying is sweeten the pot, figure it out. Let's hammer it out. And, we can put out a press release any kind of way we want to form it. But, A's are going to give up this and the league, we're going to do this for you. We're going to scratch it back to make it a better situation. And, unfortunately, the A's have never, I don't want to say had the opportunity, but the product that they put out on the field kind of shows like what they believe in when it comes to the organization. Because I'm a true believer, Whitey, if you really, really cared, and I say this, it hurts my heart, man. I truly believe in the last 20, 25 years, and I'm not off the top of my head, the Oakland A's have tried to win the World Series one time. And that's when they went out and got John Lester, and he blew it, of course, being up 4 runs, and he blew it. But I want to take myself back there. But I'm just saying, I truly believe if this is the product that you're putting on the field, then you're not in this for the love of it. You're not in this to win. You're in this on a business standpoint. And it kills me that you're not even handling business right.
See, the thing about that game was, who was it? Was it Soto was catching and he got hurt? And so Derek Norris had to catch, and the Royals had all those base stealers. And then we find out, Lester doesn't like to
throw over. Yeah. Don't give him an out, Whitey. They blew it.
I know. But
don't give him an out.
As you mentioned, earlier we were talking about Kirk Gibson and all that. And then as you mentioned that game, it just all of it starts flooding back.
I know.
Tin here. Appreciate hearing from Tin. But Tin, in this case, I think you're wrong. Tin says Oakland is down the street. Oakland would be happy for Sacramento. Maybe some people would, but we have already been hearing from a lot of Oakland fans who are not thrilled with the idea of the A's setting up camp in Sacramento for a few years. You have A's fans begging Sacramento fans, don't get behind that. Please don't support that.
Stay out of it.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't your mess. This isn't your fight. Stay out
by
of it.
not supporting that.
Yeah.
So would it be good for Sacramento to have the A's here for 3 years? On the surface, you'd think, yeah, but your buddy Seth Everett suggested it really doesn't help. Given where baseball is right now, and it'd be a temporary thing, you wouldn't draw more visitors. It wouldn't be good for your economy. Do you think it would be good for Sacramento to have the A's here for 3 years?
In many ways, I would say yes.
I would think so.
Yeah,
I was
would
surprised,
say yes.
And he knows, but it surprised me.
I would say yes in the fact that I think, and he alluded to this as well. He's not out here. I don't think he gets the feel of Sacramento is trying to take the necessary steps to become, an
just
urban,
to raise our profile
correct.
a little bit, even
Yes,
a little bit.
just the bench, just a bit, and it's kind of one of those things where it's any pro team here probably is a good look, anything. And you, if you're setting, the benchmark and really looking at what Sacramento could, I guess, the optic would look for Sacramento, being a part of a professional league that's not the NBA, I think it will be a great look. It's all the underlining issues that comes with it that is, I guess, has us torn, Whitey.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's all the underlining, parts of it where, I get you want to set the benchmark, but also at the same time, it's like you kind of dabbling in other people's mess.
We are going to need Sacramento to be involved in the name somehow. I'm just looking up here.
Really? You
Hornets.
think so?
Yeah, because you remember even the Oklahoma City Hornets, they had, I believe they had OKC on their jersey. This was not the Thunder. This was before that, when New Orleans was
jumping around.
Well, they were displaced by Hurricane Katrina.
Right.
And then and it's not a perfect comparison, but Oklahoma City showed that, look what we can do with a team. And then somebody ended up buying Seattle and moving them there. But I believe they had OKC on their jersey. So I'm just thinking here, what do we get out of this if we're Sacramento? If they're still the Oakland A's and, they're playing somewhere else, no one even knows have anything to do with Sacramento. Don't we need at least some kind of Sacramento/Oakland or on the jerseys?
Sacco.
For something for 3 years?
We
need that?
Which is kind of what, Carla Ramsey brought it to fruition is what are we getting out of this? On the backside of this, what's on paper? Is it more money? Is it more structure? Is it something down the road? Is it assistance? Like what are we getting in this financial assistance? And I'm with you. I'm not sure it has to say Sacramento A's, but I guess I would say this. I have come to this conclusion. If Sacramento, the city of Sacramento, gets intertwined into this mess, you need something. I do know that. Mm-hmm. What that something is, I'm not 100% sure. And I'll say this, Whitey. Santa Clara is not San Francisco. Far from.
Right.
I don't know. I would have to go do the research. Maybe I don't know what the city of San Francisco has gotten, knowing that they're not getting, they don't, 9 times out of 10, they're not getting the hotel revenue. They're not getting the tourist revenue because no one's visiting San Francisco. I won't say no one, but a lot of people are not visiting San Francisco when they're coming in to go to Santa Clara. So that would be a good study to look at as well.
Yeah. Well, I know San Francisco they just never came to an agreement with the 49ers.
Sure.
They couldn't afford it. The 49ers finally said, all right, fine, we'll do it here.
But the name is still San Francisco.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure they're getting
there
something.
There was a time when we didn't do that.
True.
Like the Patriots left Boston and they became the New England Patriots. If they did it now, they would just be Boston Patriots. Like the Pistons moved out of Detroit.
Right.
And they were
Auburn Heels.
Yeah. They're still the Detroit Pistons. All right. Been a very interesting day, hasn't it? Do you want to get to our football segment or should we save that for next week?
What you got over there?
Well, yeah, we'll get to it real quickly here as we wrap things up here.
Don't burn it.
Well, we got to help you get through this weekend without football. We'll do that next year. Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Sacramento County Voter Registration and Elections.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay cloudy tonight, but it'll be dry. Overnight lows will stay around 50. During the day tomorrow, the morning looks dry. We'll get some rain for the afternoon and evening. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA3 app.
The presidential primary election is March 5th. All registered voters will receive their party-specific ballot in the mail. Check to make sure you're registered correctly at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, We own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
No fees on all Kings tickets happening now. You can experience Sacramento Kings basketball live with no fees on all remaining games. Watch as the Kings take on the top teams in both conferences, including big matchups against the Bucks, Lakers, Knicks, Clippers, and more. Score big on tickets and cheer on the Beam team as they make a push for the playoffs. Don't miss out. This limited time offer is only valid until February 20th. Visit kings.com/no fees to take advantage of this deal today.
Hey, California. Sellathon means big savings. Sellathon means great selection. Sellathon means 5 days to save. So visit your California Ford dealer now through President's Day and get great offers on the most popular Ford trucks and SUVs. Like the built Ford Tough F-150, part of Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 47 years and counting. Or the adventure-ready Ford Bronco Sport with GOAT modes to help you conquer the great outdoors. And the always electrifying Ford Mustang Mach-E with 0 to 60 thrills and 0 emissions. It's the Ford President's Day Sellathon. And that means now is the best time to get behind the wheel of your brand new Ford truck or SUV and drive it home today. But hurry, these offers absolutely end February 19th. So go to your California Ford dealer today. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense, can make your eyes water. It makes you walk funny because you're trying to get pressure off your heel. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure they fitted me with the right thing. And so they brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones for my feet. I had no idea that they would be that patient, and I had no idea they would be that kind. And you just knew, like, your feet, just when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. And it really did make a big difference. It made my foot not hurt. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
The Drive Guys power your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Here's what I'm saying, Jay. Following Hurricane Katrina, New Orleans NBA team, the Hornets, they relocated temporarily to Oklahoma City. They played the 2005-2006 and 2006-2007 seasons in Oklahoma City as the New Orleans/Oklahoma City Hornets.
So you need the name to be involved in it.
Whatever it's going to be. You know, I don't know if Las Vegas being on the jersey before they're even there is distasteful.
Sacramento LV Vegas, like you need something. LV Sacramento
Maybe
A's or
Oakland,
something.
Sacramento.
The Las Vegas A's by way of Sacramento.
Yeah, but we need, look, you're going to use our ballpark? Okay, we're going to need our names on the jerseys. All right. As I mentioned, we're going to help you through this no football weekend. We have the Return of the Empire coming up. So we got Emil and we've got, of course, Kyle Ledbetter with us. So we're going to do a little round table here, guys. And I'm asking you, and I know Jay and I talked about this earlier, with no football to watch on TV, can you give us and our smartest listeners in radio a player's YouTube highlights that you're saying, hey, maybe you've seen this guy, maybe you haven't, you have to watch. If you're missing football, you got to watch this. And I will start with one, if I may, just to get the ball rolling here. And 49er fans know this, but Ronnie Lott. If you're missing football, go check out Ronnie Lott's YouTube video. Now, I was watching highlights today, Jay, and if you know, they show him interception. And to be honest, I was a little disappointed. It's like, that's great, but you know what Ronnie used to do?
Okay, hit you coming across the middle, baby.
Boom!
Yeah, man.
Boom! And back then, of course, you know, now it's dangerous, which it is, but back then, that's what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
He's very good at it. So
100%.
I would say Ronnie Lott.
All right. My first one, I'm going with, and he has a documentary that's kind of be jumped around right now. I believe it's on Amazon, but it doesn't do it justice, man. You have to go see Barry Sanders.
Yeah, man.
Barry Sanders is
man.
the type of cat. If you haven't seen Barry Sanders, do yourself justice. Do yourself a favor this week. Go watch a Barry Sanders YouTube highlight. I mean, just it's follies. And it's not him. It's people trying to tackle him.
He defied the laws of gravity.
Yes.
I remember watching a playoff game, the Lions in a playoff game.
Yeah,
believe it or
well,
not.
that, you know,
Yeah.
young folks like Kyle, that's a thing.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember watching, and I remember he was down. And I looked down because I was doing something. I looked up, I was like, he's still going. I saw him get tackled. He defied the laws of gravity.
Yeah, man,
I remember, look, the cat is still running. I'll never forget that. So that's a great one. Kyle Ledbetter.
That's me.
You're up.
Okay, so I am a
And please,
child.
No
here, so-
punters, okay? No punters allowed.
Oh, I'm so disappointed here. I wanted to watch some Marquette King highlights.
seen
Wow,
that.
what a shout.
Remember that
actually, that's
time?
a good call. Yeah.
Remember when he picked up the flag and then threw it down while he was dancing? It was great.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid in San Diego, I grew up rooting for the Chargers. I don't do that anymore, but I saw during this year's Hall of Fame enshrinement that people were upset that Antonio Gates didn't get in on the first ballot.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to know why Antonio Gates should have been in on the first ballot, go watch Phillip Rivers to Antonio Gates.
Yeah, man.
I agree.
And you'll get some LaDainian Tomlinson in there too. Trust me.
Of course.
That's always entertaining, just like Barry Sanders. But Phillip Rivers to Antonio Gates was amazing. They used to have the record for most touchdowns of any receiver to quarterback combination. They are absolutely fantastic and fun to watch. They played on some teams that scored a lot of points but gave up a lot of points.
Yeah, man.
So Antonio Gates is the person you should go watch, and you'll get, some Phillip Rivers, LaDainian Tomlinson in there as well.
He was one of those hybrid tight end receiver types.
Absolutely,
They're so
yeah.
common now.
Yeah, he was ahead of his time. And I know he played at the same time as Tony Gonzalez, but those two were kind of the embodiment of
Tony
that.
were just special.
And then-
Emil Fragoso. Thank
That's
you.
me.
That's a great one.
That's me.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle mentioned one that didn't make the Hall of Fame. I'm going to mention a player who did make the Hall of Fame, and one near and dear, not only my heart, but to all 49ers faithful in the world. How about Mr. 52 himself, Patrick Willis?
Yeah.
Man, Patrick Willis, when he played football, talk about guys to take head off of people. That man would hit you so hard, you get knocked in the next Tuesday. Patrick Willis was a special player. And not only that, played 7-8 seasons, I believe, and was pretty much an all-pro in every single season. If not for a career-ending injuries at the age of 30 years old, Patrick Willis would have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago. Finally got his flowers this year. Well-deserved 935 career tackles. Patrick Willis.
Great one. Those are great ones. That was probably the only question mark on his Hall of Fame resume was he didn't play that many seasons, but when he did,
Look, if TD got in, if Gale Sayers got in, guys like
Yeah.
that, he deserved to get
And it's
in.
why Luke Kuechly will get in this year as well.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Last edition of Return of the Empire all season?
Live edition. We'll do some throughout the offseason, but live, yes.
On here, the last one on here.
Yes,
Yeah. All right.
yes.
What do you guys? What can we look forward to?
Recapping Super Bowl experiences for myself, as well as what happened during the game, the injuries, where the team currently stands, and the reactions to firing of Steve Wilkes, and Kyle's thoughts, being on the winning side of that as well. We're going to have a conversation about that.
Awesome.
We ain't putting that on. I'm telling you right now, we're going to cut that.
Cut. Jay, thank you. Great job. Appreciate it. Thank you for being with us. Stick around. Return of the Empire is next. Have a great weekend. Sactown Sports.
Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley